And here we are. We are live. Finally, again. Finally, again live. I figured matches. Man. What a day. Thankfully, I was able to sleep well last night again. Yesterday I actually was on a hike for about 4 hours. Awesome, but it seems like I overdid it. So my neck got worse. And by worse I mean I was just laying, half sitting in my bed, and I was dizzy. I still am. That's why I know it's the neck. That's the usual that happens when, you know, the neck injury. I have the feeling that the music is way too loud. But then again, I had it quite loud here, so we aren't doing that. Oh, actually, I want to show you something. So yesterday I thought, hey, you know what? When it comes out, I want to stream High God, you know, because let's see how bad it really is. Well, safe start, no, secure start and TPM 2.0 can be detected. But they needed that's a hardware and Windows setting. So I'm running Windows 10 because I will definitely not upgrade to Windows 11, but also my system is so old that these things aren't in my machine. They aren't there. So I will not be able to play this game. They literally made a free-to-play multiplayer game that you can't run on old hardware. If your machine is 10 years old, you can't run the game. And that's literally what's going on here. And yes, I'm streaming on a 10-year-old machine. With the exception of the RAM and the graphics card. And one of the SSDs. All the exceptions. So, if you thought this game was bad before, now imagine not being able to run it if you haven't a modern system, like a modern system. It will, I think it will run on Windows 10? Yeah, Windows 10. Minimum system requirements Windows 10. Also recommended Windows 11. Why? Why is there a difference? I don't know. But it's bad. It's bad. So I will not be able to play this game. Which also means a lot of people will not be able to play this game. Which means they literally cut down their own player base just by having an anti-cheat, because this is for anti-cheat. So the anti-cheat runs. They have an anti-cheat that desperately needs a modern hardware system where you, by the way, can be completely be identified by. The government lost that. Oh, Hitler would be so proud of this. Yeah, so they are completely limiting their player base. by this. Just by this, they are limiting their player base. On top of the game not looking great. So I think this game is going to be a way worse disaster than we actually expected to be. I think it's going to be worse. Because, for example, I've never seen this before. I can play Arc Raiders and don't have that get up. Actually, let's look at it. Does it have the same? No, Arc Raiders is just fine. And yes, I'm aware that there's a problem with cheaters, but they are working on it. So that's not even the problem here. The problem is this game just runs fine. No, they aren't hampering. No, that was the wrong word. They aren't preventing people from playing the game by limiting it tech-wise. These guys do. So we have a company here that created a game that's completely uninspired. Everyone shit on. And on top of that, they are limiting their player base by how old the PCs are. Am I the only one that thinks that this is a bad look for the future? Look out for the future of this game. I mean, even I can't play the game for content because of this. That's how bad this game is. That's how badly these people fucked up. And this is another higher trend. Why this game is even worse than we thought it is. And that's why it will die even faster than we thought it would. Oh my god. This game is probably dead within a month. And that's on a high end. I expect it to basically end just like Concord. Maybe they give it one more week because they don't want to be embarrassed by, you know, dying just like Concord. Oh no, we took 1 week longer to die. Yeah. I don't think this game has a future. I mean, they are literally hampering even their release and everything else. I think they are completely done. There's no chance this game is going to be successful. Zero. Nada. Niente. Not the slightest. If you like this video, consider subscribing or give it a like or comment if you agree or disagree. Do you seriously, do you agree or disagree that this year will completely kill the game just at launch for people installing the game and then not being able to play it? Your opinion is asked. Let me know. That was the first react of today. So, content. Man, what the fuck? Hey Jizzy, look who's there. Look who's there. Yeah, I'm back. I just don't know for how long. I will. Ow. Oh, Jesus, that was bad. That was bad. Yes, I did see it. I didn't know how to answer properly. To be fair. Because a part of me doesn't want to hurt your feelings. But yeah, no. The answer is no. Good that you say your age on YouTube and not on Twitch. You would have gotten banned immediately. Not by me, by the way, but by Twitch, right? Fair enough, yeah. The thing is, I'm playing so little games these days that when I play the games then I, want to play games that I want to play. Even if it's just for content. This, by the way, I just made a video that... I don't know if... Were you there when I was talking about this game? I think not. I wanted to stream the game, but I can't. Because my computer is too old. And it doesn't support Save Start and TPM 2.0. Yes, it's Concord 2 Ulo. So, I can't play this game. Because my computer is too old. Funniest shit ever. Did you buy it? No. The game is free to play. The game is free to play. But it will still just die within a month. I said it will take maybe a month. Yes, the game is free. Don't bother. The game is bad. Game is bad. Let me see. Well, we actually can watch a trailer. Let's watch the trailer together. Let's watch the trailer and tell me if you like what you see.
Into lands uncharted and dangers untold. I venture without fear and ride without rest. For coin or for cause, I fight to the end.
Bringing the heat. Your light belongs to me.
Moving in for the attack.
Shield breaker forming. Blade out.
Strike fast.
You like the horses? The other parts are reskin shooters, but yeah, of course. You're looking for... You're hoping a game comes out you're looking forward 1 year for? Okay. You hope it's under $6 might be hard.
Siege tower coming in.
The enemy is off gate.
I'm coming for you.
Marking baddies from above.
It's my turn. I am the coming storm. I am a warden, and this is my oath.
Man, this game is so average. Have you ever tried Gunner Heat? Never heard of it at all. You wish they incorporated more of the horses. The thing is, the horses doesn't even matter. They don't even matter.
For the attack.
The thing is, here, look at this. They aren't even fast. They aren't even fast. This game is everything that was popular 10 years ago, but worse. It's actually just worse than everything else. Yeah, that's why no one fucking likes this shit. No one. No one. Everyone makes fun of this for good reasons. Okay, let's watch a video about it. Oh, more tanks. Oh no. I'm already out. No. Sorry, but no. I'm out. It's a realistic tank sim from what you've heard. It's good. Yeah, but no. I'm out. I'm out. No. I'm already out. I can't. I'm done. Why now? Because no. I think War Thunder made me not want to play things like that. You just gotta go watch the trailer then. You never heard of the 2025 trailer? Well, it's 4 weeks old. So it came out in December. Yeah, and yes, I do get flashbacks. That's why I can't. I just can't. It's not PvP yet. Oh god, yeah. I don't want to. No. I'm already in pain. War Thunder copycat. You can't say that because it's a simulation. War Thunder is not really a simulation. Oh, actually, I wanted to watch this one. It's actually this video. Yeah, you're gonna watch this. The game is made by an indie. Pain makes a man strong. Not the pain that War Thunder inflicts. The sledding game. Ah, shit. Did I write it correct? Yes.
I'm making this game about sledding and hanging out with friends. It's called Sledding Game. There's no real direction on how I think you should play. This is my first game, and I really...
To be fair, it looks cute. And it will run on a toaster, probably.
just wanted to make something with proximity chat where you can mess around and have fun. Oh, God. You can make snowballs. You can play darts in the lodge.
Whoa! I got the keys on the car.
You can do cool sled tricks.
Yeah.
And you can also just chill out and talk by a campfire.
To be fair, I like this. I like this. It's not for me, but I like it. I actually do. It looks cute. It has a nice atmosphere. The promise of the game is nice. Seems good.
I kind of like the randomness that happens when there's nothing telling you like where to go or what to do, and you're just given like a bunch of little tools and mechanics. Wishlisted on Steam. Thank you.
I was expecting him to walk away.
Now, what I really wanted to...
That's literally kind of how I played World of Warcraft back in the day. Man, those times.
Show off were some of the new characters I've been working on. You may know the classics: frog, a couple bears, a penguin, a fox. But now, as you'll have seen in this video, there's a couple seals, a panda bear, more frogs, some toads. Oh, you're gonna love this one. Arctic fox.
Smokalana.
W. But yeah, if you just enjoyed hanging out with friends or sledding or frogs, even, Wishlist Sledding Game on Steam. It's my first game and kind of my first time doing a trailer like this, so I hope you like it.
He's getting his cheeks warm. Oh yeah.
That was actually good. How is it that a simple trailer done by one dude that makes also the game is better than what we saw before? This is more intriguing than High God. It's not even close. The good old days, well, yeah, almost 20 years ago. Way before you were born. Man. Yeah. Now I feel sad that I'm so old. Old and pathetic. Oh no.
The U.S. State Department issues a security alert urging Americans to leave Iran immediately.
Oh.
Iran's intelligence ministry announces arrests of individuals using Starlink. Trump announces a 25% tariff on any country doing business with Iran. This order is final and conclusive. I think it just might be over. I think this could actually be it. The U.S. State Department issues a security alert.
Iran is fucked. Oh my god, I bet this is something stupid.
Do I identify as black? No, it's a serious question because you might not identify. Can you please put the mic? Thank you. Okay.
Oh God, like it just.
She's retarded.
All right, Karen. Yeah, back of the line. You gotta go. See ya.
When I
Less
walked
than
into
that,
when
I'm
I
not
walked
done with
into
my
the
question.
room,
I
when
am
walked
not
into the
done
room-
with my question.
Damn. God.
I would throw that bitch out immediately.
Damn.
Oh, young lady, young lady.
I'm just asking you to listen to me.
and I'm about to answer the first.
Yeah, you like. I mean, she is already hysterical within like 3 seconds. It's like having a wild boar in your house.
Yeah, and now imagine she would be married and not leave the house unless her husband allows it. The world would be such a nice place.
But I didn't finish my question.
Okay. Yeah, I'm black.
Duh. I mean, look at him.
It's just so stupid, isn't it?
Do I identify as black?
Of course it's stupid. Of course. No, I'll watch that when I'm off stream because. Oh right, guys. Asmongold finally cleaned his room after years of not doing anything. Well, most likely decades. I wish it would be a longer segment than just 1 minute and 10 seconds.
Clean out everything. Clean out like all the desks. I even got the vacuum cleaner. I got everything, right? And so that was it.
To be fair, it looks really clean. It's about the same. It has orderly wise, it's the same as mine, I would say. My room, that my to be fair, I live like a teenager. I have my bedroom that is also where where all my shit is, like my computer. I live like a teenager. My bedroom and my living room are basically the same. This room. There's my bed, which also props up the green screen. My computer is here, and in the next room where's my kitchen and supposedly also my living room. It's just my kitchen and storage. Then there's a tiny floor and a bathroom. That's it. I live like a teenager. This is my main room where I'm spending the most time. And everywhere else I only go when I have to. Your dream house. To be fair, my dream house actually is an old house. From about maybe built during the Third Reich and before that. That would be my dream house, because the houses back then that were built, they're beautiful. Beautiful. Modern houses are so ugly. I can tell you, there are houses in my town that are hundreds of years old. I know the fundament of one of the churches here is, I think, 1200 years old. Another church in my part of town was built in 1200 and something. There is an actual my town is a conglomerate of villages, by the way. A bunch of villages were put together into one town and said, yeah, this is a town now, because this saves money, right? It doesn't really. We have a palace, and I mean it, we literally have a palace. Now, it's not huge, but it's a palace. French style palace, and we had a castle back in the day, but it was demolished in the 1970s, because it would have been too expensive to renovate. Could have been a tourist attraction, but yeah. You live in a double brick house. You're gonna box me? What? No, don't box me, because I will hit back. And this, my town is, parts of my town are really old, and in my part of town there's a lot of building going on in the past years, and you have buildings that are just finished building, and at the sides of the buildings there are other buildings that are over 100 years old, and you see the difference massively. The new building, ugly as hell. It's such a contrast. It's so disgusting. Modern architecture is some of the ugliest shit you can build or see. It's so horrible. But the video was about Asmongold's broom, so let's go back to that.
And so we got the entire thing cleaned up. It took me 3 hours. I'm gonna be honest. My legs hurt. My legs hurt. My arms hurt. My back hurts. Yeah. That's.
Yeah, if you have to clean an entire room in one row, yes, that's a lot of work. That's why depressive people don't clean their shit, because they see, oh my god, I have to clean everything and it's so much work, oh my god, and they are getting overwhelmed. You live in Bonn? No. But with a car, it's less than an hour away. The thing is, there are castles and palaces everywhere in Germany. Every German town or village that has Burg, W-U-R-G, at the end, that town, village, whatever, had the castle. And we have tens of thousands of villages and towns with that ending. You know that Germany has a shit ton of castles, yeah. We still have, I think we have 10,000. But there should have been back in the day about 30,000 castles. Just by going with the ending of Burg, you know. And I know in one part of my town there is still I think medieval guard tower or something like that. It's, I think, not even 10 meters high, but would have been way more than enough back in the day.
That's about it. So how many rats found? Surprisingly 0. But yes, and you're no longer Nurgle's chosen. Well, that's not quite right. And yeah. So your blankets? Oh no, I still have all the stuff over there, sure. But like that's because I use it, right? You look fucking tired. New girlfriend? No, no. I was just like, I didn't realize how many rotten burritos were in my room.
Oh, disgusting.
There's like 5. I had no idea. I thought there'd be like at most 2, right? At most 2 burritos. But no, it's honestly, it's 5. Bro, skipping leg day? Listen, guys, I'm not skipping leg day. I'm skipping day.
Yeah.
All of them. What do you mean?
I was in the way, like always. Yeah. Yeah, reminds me of that one time I drank moldy iced tea. Not good. Oh no. There's another music video with her. Oh no. It's old, but oh no. And yes, I know her. I've seen videos of her already. By the way, I'm thinking about getting an eye tracker, because I think that might be interesting. Just, you know. What is here? Oh, right. Hypocrite devs finally found out after shaming vulgar PC gamers. Wait. Did I not watch this already? Guys, did I watch this? Yes, I watched this already. Did I not? I think I just have not edited it yet. You have seen that person though? Well, yeah, I have reacted to this guy's stuff before. Oh yeah, this video can go. We did it. It actually happened. What is this? All right, that was about Venezuela. Yeah, that video, that react video didn't good. Slilpish, stop doxing me, Jesse. Don't try to find out where I am, please. Yeah, that's for off stream. Because I'm not reacting to an react, because that's, well, maybe. Not 100%. Mainstream media is dying. Right, I reacted to the original. I wanted to watch her version too. We're getting fruit. We're getting fruit. Right. The Evolution of Arc Raiders episode 3. We have seen the first 2 episodes. I have uploaded 2. But actually on my gaming channel I have already published both versions. But I think due to them being reacts, I put them on my react channel. This by the way, this seems to be not doing well. Maybe it's the thumbnail. The title should be fine. Ubisoft is lying again, because it's true. Man. By the way, did we react to this? I wholeheartedly believe I watched this already. But I couldn't find it anywhere. A dude got scanned by an AI Jennifer Aniston. I absolutely know I watched this. Absolutely. 100%. Because it was so ridiculous. It's so retarded. Okay, let's watch... We're watching this one. We are watching this one. Then we are done with the series. Good reason to watch a video. And after that we do more other stuff. We have a lot to do.
Hello and welcome to the final video in our series on the development of Arc Raiders.
In the previous 2 episodes, we detailed how Arc Raiders changed from the fast-paced co-op giant machine hunting game to a more intimate and tactical PvPvE extraction shooter. But the dream of taking down large, intelligent machines never died. In fact, it may be the defining technology pillar of this entire project.
Which is good. It's awesome. Boom boom time, yes. There's a reason. Funny thing, I actually wanted to make a complete video about it. This game gives me kind of the same feeling as World of Warcraft did when I started playing it, which is massive. I think no other game did that, and I played a lot of games since then. You might be cooked. Don't, Jesse. Don't.
I say maybe because for years Embark has been struggling to wrestle results out of this new tech. You see, early in Arc Raiders development, the team at Embark decided to make a gamble on an emerging technology, to make machines that would seem to move with intelligence. It's not AI in either the traditional gaming sense or in the new generative sense, but rather adopting breakthrough machine learning research in the field of real-world robotics. A way to allow the machines in this game, both large and small, to move realistically, allowing them to...
Which is awesome. The way the machines move in this game are it's so cool. It's amazing. Especially the Leaper. I really like the Leaper. It's one of the Someone else said that that the Leaper is possibly one of the greatest types of enemies you can have in a game, because it's just so cool how it moves. That thing literally jumps up buildings to get your ass. It's so good. You think you actually found it?
Cross complex terrain, to react, fall, and stumble when under enemy fire, to walk, run, and jump even when one of their limbs has been blown off. I spend a lot of time talking to a lot of smart people to understand how exactly this technology works, the groundbreaking new game design language it opens up, and frankly how difficult it is to get any of this to work effectively. But before we get to any of that, let's first quickly remind ourselves about the machines that populate this world, instruments of the game's antagonist, Ark. We filmed these interviews in 2024, around a year before the game's release date, so much of what the interviewees are talking about has itself changed in the 12 months since.
What work is left to do, and how is Ark Raiders likely to evolve before it's released?
Go on. Give it to me.
Internally, we kind of broadly define the enemies into aerial enemies and ground enemies, just because of how we have to build them and how they behave tends to most cleanly fall into those two categories. And then within those categories, it tends to be like lighter enemies, fodder style enemies that, if ignored, they'll hurt you but aren't a tremendous deal to take down, up to much heavier enemies that are a significant threat to you and take a lot of effort. So on the low end of our aerial enemies, we have the Wasp, which is just a pretty light aerial drone that is somewhat erratic in its movement. It has a light machine gun, and it will pepper you with bullets. And then its sort of big brother version is the Hornet, which has significant armor plating, which necessitates the player to either use maybe a type of grenade to take it out. They need to flank around behind it and take out its thrusters, which are unarmored. So the Rocketeer is an aerial enemy, and it's kind of what it sounds like. It's just a very large aerial drone, fairly heavily armored, and will kind of saturate areas of threat with rockets from a distance, so it kind of flushes players out.
If you want to just shoot for the center, maybe it takes a few more hits, but it's easier to hit, and each hit will kind of knock it back. So if it was getting ready to shoot at you, you can kind of throw its aim off just by knocking it a little bit. And that has always been the case. So there's always this concept of like a popcorn enemy, where it's like you get a lot of them and you kind of, they don't take much damage to destroy, but it's like pop, pop, pop. It feels very satisfying.
And then our ground enemy.
It does feel satisfying. It really does. I think this game is one of the few where I really like actually fighting the enemies. Because unlike other games, you really see the damage you're doing to the enemies. Because in other games you just have a health bar, but you don't see anything on the enemies. Here it's the exact opposite. You don't have a health bar, but you see the damage you're doing on the enemies, which is great.
Enemies are primarily our answer to interior spaces, which again in Pio 1 weren't really a factor. It was a building you would run through at 50 kilometers an hour because our move speed was so high then it didn't matter. Whereas now you are slowed down and are interacting with containers, and we need a way to present threats to players in interior spaces. So we've gone through a lot of types in that area, but today we have what we just charmingly call the fireball, which is basically this metallic sphere that can roll quite easily in interiors, and then it opens up and shoots fire at you.
Awesome enemy. This enemy is great. If you know how to deal it and if you have the right tools, it's not a problem. But if you don't, you can get fucked. Unless you get away.
The initial need was to have an enemy that was really fast and that could really catch up to players, right? Like we needed something that would be able to traverse our world in the game is beautiful, but it has quite a lot of complex geometry, and you know, there's all of this verticality and all of these slopes, and it's quite difficult for many ground moving enemies to navigate. So we were like, okay, we need something that can be on the ground, but that can really go after players when they're like zooming around and jumping and bolting. And
you found a church that is 900 to 1000 years old. My friend, That's almost every church in Europe. Those churches are everywhere. Yeah, no wait, never mind, that's every town in Europe. Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Going with their snap hooks and stuff. And then we were like, oh, wait a second. A ball.
Yeah. You don't need legs, you don't need wheels, you don't need tracks, just roll.
It just goes to where it needs to be, right?
And we have another one called the Tick, which is kind of a creepy little spider-ish robot. It can cling to walls and like hop off of them, and it will summon other enemies if you get close to them.
So the loot from the AI are the ones that are nicer. So like you find a core from one of the enemies, it's a grenade. There's an enemy that call other enemies. The piece of it does the same, so you can trap another player. Just like throw the thing, and enemies will drop on them. So like we are trying to make you use of the loot that way.
The first step on the journey to realistic machines is creating a world in which physics are accurate. Most games will animate their characters irrespective of the laws of physics, but if Embark was going to create a world in which intelligent robots could walk around as they saw fit, they had to ensure that laws like mass and gravity were consistent, that the world of Arc Raiders was capable of creating emergent moments between player, machine, and environment.
Our enemies are fully physicalized. All parts, everything, they use physics to an extent that sometimes it's even a challenge. Because if we really want the drone to do a barrel roll, it can't because of their weight and the thrusters. All of that is super realistic in the game, right? So it's not easy to justify it doing a barrel.
And that's why they feel like they have weight to it. Because, well, they fundamentally have. Which is awesome. I don't feel good being there. Let's go up here. No, let's stay here. Yeah, don't care about the names anymore. Your final guess, Königs Winter. No. Nice name though. For the ones who don't know, Königs Winter means King's Winter. Most likely the winter residence of a king. Back in the day.
And all the parts of the drones as well can be peeled off, and the drone will actually react to that. If it has one thrusters left, it's going to try to shoot, and that is going to impact its trajectory and all of that.
I think it's a choice between control versus emergence, really, because like if you want to be able to say, like, look at a game like Dark Souls or something, Bloodborne, where they have these enemies that have really specific patterns, and it's like they want the player to learn, okay, after 3 seconds it's going to move to the left, and then it does this move which takes X amount of time, and then something else happens. If you want that kind of control, you cannot use physics.
Because a lot of design philosophies, especially with enemy design, are really difficult to pull off when you have this type of systems, because it's so much about pattern recognition, right?
Yeah.
Like you have an enemy moving in a certain way and like, oh, that's the opening for the attack, I can go in. Or you as a player know that like if I do this, I'm gonna get this reaction from it, and that's gonna happen every time. And that's what games like Dark Souls, like Monster Hunter kind of rely upon. And
Arc Raiders has this partly, but there's always a certain degree of uncertainty. Wording is a little problematic here, but it fits. You can never be 100% sure because there's so much going on in the game. For example, you only hear a wasp. So you destroy the wasp while exiting a building, and the wasp was making noise, you're making noise, and all of a sudden, oh shit, there was a rocketeer. Literally happened to me last time I played, I think, or something like that. Man. But yeah, there's things that can happen all over the place in this game. And I actually like that. I like that, oh, you are in a fight with a player and you aggro Arc. I think that's a good thing. I know that all the PvPers hate it, but I don't care. The game is not made for you. It's made for PvEVP, or that's what a game is, and I think it's good because it makes you think about, can I take this fight or not? For example, I'm watching Dr. Disrespect to stream the game, and he takes fights that I would never take because, oh, there's a Rocketeer close. I would never take a fight with someone when there's a Rocketeer that close. Because it's stupid. And then he died. Of course he died. The Rocketeer heard the shots.
We had this ambition to have boss fights in that same arena of like Dark Souls, Monster Hunter, like having all of that compelling pattern recognition. But then we also realized that, well, if you knock it in a certain way and the slope is a little bit angled and maybe someone else is standing somewhere else and firing off a grenade, then that is not going to work. You're not going to have the pattern that you thought.
Like if you've got a big enemy flying in the middle of a pack of smaller drones and you throw a grenade and it explodes, and then maybe one of the engines flies off and hits this other one, which then like crashes to the side. You get all of this stuff, kind of these cinematic moments that are really memorable, and that's not something anyone's designed as such. It's just something that's happened naturally, which is really cool, and like we thought it was worth that.
Exactly.
I think it is worth that, because it's so incredibly good. It's not a thing of about just looking cool. It also feels cool. It feels real, and that's where this game excels, in my opinion. It feels real, or more real than other games, because things like that happen.
Versus having to struggle with, okay, maybe we don't get to do exactly what we want all the time, but we get these cool, memorable moments that can just occur without anyone having planned them.
Getting physics to work for barrels or grenades is one thing. Getting physics to work for drones with parts that can be blown off is a whole other challenge. But getting physics to work for machines the size of buildings is an entirely different story. This is due to the nature of most game engines and physics simulations. Games are not used to calculating mass at that scale, and having enemies weighing thousands of tons creates challenges in how they move and interact within the world. Because sand in video games isn't sand, it's geometry, texture, and shaders. Because rock and dirt doesn't crumble under the weight of heavy things in most games.
Inside the simulation, there are just numbers at work here. So the weights of things are there. So you set, this leg weighs 6 tons, or, the center of mass of this robot should be 10,000 kilos or something like that. But to get it to support its own weight, you have to set values on how much strength each limb has. And when you start dealing with like very, very insane numbers to try and support the thing, you get behaviors which are sort of uncanny. Very, very stiff legs that sort of like have a lot of energy, but they do small little inputs like this against the ground, and you get sort of like rigid bounciness happening. And if you want to dial that down, then you get something that can't support itself and it starts to trip or fall over and this sort of thing. So there's this middle ground which was really hard to find to make it look natural, but also give it the power to actually locomote.
Oh, that's so cool. Goodbye, Jesse. This is so cool. I really want to see the really big arcs, like really big arcs. Like the ones that we already see in the background of the maps that we can't reach yet. I want to see those actually move, and we can fight them in game. That would be so great. And I'm absolutely sure that will come, because they are there for a reason. You can't tease things like that and then nothing happens. But this is amazing. Shit like that is why I like this game, and why I believe. I mean, Embark just posted on the Discord yesterday or 2 days ago, I think yesterday, that they've sold overall 12 million copies of the game. That's a massive success. So if you just go with 10 million copies sold for $40, that's $40 million. 40? Yes. But it's 12. And some people, like me, bought the deluxe edition for 60. Yeah, things looking good. Oh, this is so cool.
It is a classic game issue that when you have physics, they are not penetrating each other, right? You have things and it's resting on top of something. You don't get it buried deep beneath, right? And if we're talking about these big bosses, they would bury themselves into concrete or anything, right? Not just sand. But we can't really do that in games without a lot of smoke and mirrors.
Yeah, it really breaks the illusion when you want to see like an at foot kind of like come towards Luke's speeder and go, and that doesn't happen. What happens is it kind of goes like this, and you're kind of like, huh, I thought this thing was supposed to be huge and big, right? It just doesn't sell it.
Early in the development of Arc Raiders, the team at Embark decided to establish a team to explore the possibility of using groundbreaking research in the field of robotics to enable the enemies to locomote independently of any preset animations. Decision-making would be made using game logic, but how a machine got from A to B would be decided by a brain, generated using machine learning.
You know those Boston Dynamics videos where they try and...
This is amazing. This is amazing. I really like this. Machine learning is one of the greatest inventions in probably the past 20 years. It's amazing. And yes, better than smartphones, in my opinion.
Teach a bipedal robot how to jump up on a box. That's kind of like what Arc Raiders is trying to do, but instead their robots are way bigger and they have way more legs. And crucially, they have to be able to do something that traditional games can't. And that's when you blow off one of those legs, those robots have to be able to adapt.
Yeah.
I think, as I've been told, like their objectives has been much closer to the same objectives as Boston Dynamics has, rather than game design problems of like literally figuring out how these machines will navigate with their own vision, and like they had to be physically accurate also, where you put the engines and the downwash and all that has to be accurately, they have to be in accurate locations for it to work. Like what's exciting and what's still exciting is the fact that using this technology for our locomotion system is the losing limbs and still it wants to stand up. It just opens that door to the imagination of what is self-preservance like, and how that speaks back to the players. So to us, that when we saw that, at least, that is an exciting prospect of a new type of experience that players haven't had before. I think they're literally.
Can I think of a game that had that before? Actually, no, I can't. I think I've never seen something like that before. I might be wrong, but I don't think so.
Playing against a machine.
The ML only did at that point locomotion. So that was responsible to make it go from point A to B, and that's it. No ML in decision making whatsoever. So it depends a little bit on the model. So some models consume a lot of memory. That is maybe the biggest consideration. And some language models and such consume gigabytes of memory. But this locomotion does not consume that much. So I'd say the expensive part of ML is what we call observations. And that is actually not really ML per se. That is just how the agents get information about the world. So they don't see the world the way a player sees it, of course. They have to, if they want to see a wall, you have to sort of line trace or do a shape cast to see it or detect it. And we need to do a lot of those, maybe thousands, so they get an idea of what kind of environment they're in. At least this is the case for locomotion.
The road to getting this locomotion system to work has been long and difficult, and it involves several different stakeholders from within the team, from animators to technical animators, artists and gameplay engineers. It also required the studio to look outside into the world of research.
I did my PhD in mathematics and thought pure mathematics was a bit too dry, so then I found applications, and the application I found was applying machine learning to biology. So I worked on hereditary diseases like diabetes and Crohn's disease and stuff like that, and tried to identify the target genes that were involved with that through machine learning. Like, it's completely revolutionized the field. I think there's very soon we will see a Nobel Prize to DeepMind, Google DeepMind, for their work on biology.
What? A month after this interview, Google DeepMind's Demis Hassabis and Dr. John Jumper were co-awarded the 2024 Nobel Prize in Chemistry. Nice.
Applications of machine learning, like that's I'm certain of it, yeah.
Really early on we had, there was a test where even though the gait, so the way it walked was kind of meh, we threw boxes at it. So we were just throwing these, I think there were 100-kilogram boxes, and it just reacted, and that's when you see, holy shit, there's a magic here. From an animation perspective, I'm used to, okay, how would I break this down into, let's say, a sequence of animations that can, in this case, it would be, we can throw a box at this from any angle, in any direction, in any weight or whatever. And I'm thinking of the animation complexity, so, well, how do I handle arbitrary complexity? Well, then I need to have infinite amount of animations or blending, and that is just a nightmare, which is why you often see things like, if I punch you in the shoulder in a video game, you just do this, cave-in animation, or, the can sequence.
And the funny thing with this tech, I think, is that it's kind of partially ruined animations in other games for me a little bit. So now when I look at other games, I'm like, wait, the center of gravity is off here. Like, this doesn't feel right anymore. And it really annoys me.
A connoisseur of animation,
I can totally see that. The moment you get deep into something and you see something else that is adjacent to what you are doing, but it's slightly off, you recognize that immediately. And you go, wait a moment, that's not how it should be. What's going on? Yeah, this is... I can totally see that, yeah, 100%.
But everything else they do looks so good. Like when they walk like on a flat ground, like that's an authored animation cycle that looks really good, and an animator's been like, I want to convey this sense of weight, this sense of menace in this gait, or like this sense of joy or whatever.
Yeah.
And we just take whatever the robots give us, and it looks frequently kind of shitty in comparison to these like Disney walks, right?
Yeah.
But on the other hand, when you throw something at it, or when it slips, or when the ground is not even, our robots do the right stuff. And their robots are not robots. They don't do the right stuff. They just like apply some kind of one out of their 20 animations that they have, and it doesn't fit.
The process of training these brains is complicated. It essentially requires somebody to give the brain certain conditions, have it train using those conditions, and then testing the brain in a machine and seeing what it does right and what it does wrong. An example of a condition could be, if an enemy is far away, run fast to get to them, or if a human enemy is firing at you, attempt to jump over them. The core problem with this work is that once one of the brains is baked, you can't simply tweak its behavior. You have to go back to the original conditions, retrain the entire brain, and then test to see if the new brain works better. And this causes a problem, because the solutions that a human might have can be very different to the solutions these robot brains come up with.
We found...
Yes. And that's what's great here, I think. That's what makes it good. That's what makes it good. I really look... I can tell you, I'm looking forward to all the new arcs that are coming out. When they're coming out, of course. We haven't seen anything new since the Shredder. That was at the end of November, I think. Somewhere like that, with the new map. And people now actually know how to deal with the Shredder. It's not really that hard. Unless you being caught off guard, of course. or without the tools to deal with them. That's, you know, but that goes for all the arc and for all enemies in every game ever. But yeah, I really hope they just, in some cases, just let the arc do their thing, because that would be the most interesting thing. Yeah.
And some fun at playing against the big ML enemies, right? And the problem was to replicate that fun. It was very difficult because it's not predictable. It's very hard to just say, do this, right? It doesn't. It doesn't follow orders that way. You have to train it and teach it, and sometimes it finds weird ways to get to do things more efficiently, like removing all the legs but 2 from the ground because that's faster for it. But then it looks silly. It doesn't become a menacing enemy that we wanted, right? So we always had that.
The thing is, you can still go with that. Oh, this looks silly. This isn't. Oh, look at that enemy. Oh, how funny! And then it annihilates you. That would be cool. That would be cool.
Dilemma dealing with ML that is not the predictability part of it.
The damn agent learned that if I just shove my foot into the ground really hard, faster than the server can keep up, I can use the penetration to bounce myself. Right?
A typical example was that we give it a cookie when it reaches or when it moves towards a flag, right? Yeah. And when it gets to the flag, we move the flag to a new place, right? At some point in time, we try to train it like the closer it was to the flag, the bigger the reward it got, like the better the cookie, right? And what it learned, of course, was that it runs up to the flag and then stops like with its nose like this close to the damn thing. And it's like, I know if I touch it, it goes away and stuff starts hurting. Like that's much worse. Oh but your touching something has been huge.
That's where you run into a problem. That's where you run into a problem. So then you have to, you know, have it accumulate the cookies. That can work. And I wouldn't be surprised if they, in the interview, go to exact that solution.
Problem, which is the interaction between game designers and the ML loop. Like that's been really hard. Yeah. For a long time, I felt like the game designers would ask us something, and we think that's possible. Let us get back to you. And then 3 months later, we'd be like, yeah, now we have the stomp attack request, and they're like, oh, we worked around that now.
Great.
The team at Embark has tackled these issues with a number of solutions, one being training the brains on actual animation data to help guide their movement, almost like giving the brain a template to work from. And another has been, instead of baking one brain for each machine, giving them multiple brains that focus on specific tasks. This in particular has proved helpful for both getting the machines to work properly and empowering developers in how they tweak machine behavior.
And I think it's only fairly recently that we've managed to get the locomotion components we've been working on predictable and diverse enough that they feel like they have building blocks that they can use by themselves instead of involving us in every single step. They can be like, okay, I know I have the stop behavior, I have the patrol behavior, I have the assault behavior, and I have the melee behavior. Now I can combine these as I want to and create good game design with it.
The thing is, that's how people work. That's how biology works, because you don't think about how to walk over to the fridge. You just do it. The information on how to walk, that's in your brain. That's not in your thinking brain. If you get what I mean. That's just, you know, something you learned back when you were a kid, and you just, you know, you just know how to do it. It's just a part of your doing. How do I say that? It don't sound like a retard. I don't know. But I think you get what I mean. You don't think about the thing you're doing. You're thinking about the outcome. Like me grabbing the glass. Do I think, how do I stretch my arm and use my fingers to grab the glass. Do I think about that? No. No. I'm thinking about grabbing the glass to have a drink. Do I know how swallowing the tea works? No. No idea. I have no idea what actually goes on here. But the small part that knows how it works, that knows it, that part of my brain does it. Not the thinking part, not the me part, not my character part, not the part that wants to take a drink. You know, the different parts of my brain, of how I function.
As you've probably talked about, it's very tricky to get ML to do things with extreme intent, and we've tended to try to ask it to do jobs it's bad at, which is telegraph and attack with precision. So trying to work through those problems where we've got this thing that walks very competently across complex terrain. How do we turn that into a game loop that feels satisfying?
Like our reinforcement learning and machine learning efforts into locomotion is something that is being used today to some extent, maybe not to the full extent that we were hoping as we started, and that proved to be far more difficult than we expected. But we are using it today. It's a part of the game, and it makes the game feel very different than any other game. And that technology will evolve over time. So we were just a little bit too early with it, and didn't maybe have
I could see that, yeah,
enough resources and knowledge to figure it out at the time.
I think we are getting to a point now where we are getting more and more comfortable with it. So that's why we want to keep it. Still an ambition. That's why we always have at least one enemy in the game with it. But it is much more complicated. We just did a new prototype of one big enemy like those without machine learning, with procedural animation. And we got the results, as I said, like I can say, just stop there, put the leg here. And do things like that. It was much simpler to produce. But we had a couple animators full-time on it for 6 months. Right. So that's the trade-off there. Yeah.
Arc Raiders is launching into one of the least predictable video game markets ever, where players demand exciting new experiences that they can play with their friends for days, weeks, and months at a time. But this reality hasn't stopped Embark.
Meanwhile, me playing solo, and a lot of other people too, I wouldn't actually be surprised if the majority of players play solo. Because solo is way friendlier. If being friendly. We all know that aggression-based MMR is real. It has been confirmed. So I think most people at this point play solo and being friendly. And that's literally just it.
From taking bold risks when it comes to gameplay or technology. In both Arc Raiders and the finals, it's clear to see how much of a thirst the studio has for evolving any given genre, even if it takes years of experimenting. And while I've been embedded in the development of Arc Raiders, it's also been clear to me that they're not scared to tear up lukewarm ideas that don't reach their lofty goals. Time will tell what type of audience Arc Raiders ultimately receives. We produced these videos long before the game's release. But one thing is for sure, no matter how Arc Raiders launches, in Embark's hands this game is going to continue to evolve, to take risks, and to push technology and, more importantly, gameplay forward.
Yeah. Good video. Again, a good video. This was great. This was fun. This was so much fun. And the next video, again, Arc Raiders. But, ow. First, I'm going to take a piss. Because I have to piss. There, some music. Oh, fuck my. Oh, shit. Ah, crap. Okay. So I can definitely say that my neck injury got worse yesterday because I was hiking. I know that because I just sat on my toilet, looked down, and all of a sudden the room was spinning. And let me tell you, that's not good. That's not good. Okay, so no, Arc Raiders is not a broken game. I would agree with this wholeheartedly because it's not broken. I don't even know how you would, why would you would say that?
Alright, I'm ready to go, dude. Let's get topside. Come on. Oh no! I need help. Boom! Let's go. Run. I can't believe I just made that. Ow. Here they come, here they come. I got you, I got you, I got you! No! No!
You know, since the release of Arc Raiders, I have found everyone pretty much asking the same thing. Is Arc Raiders PvP or is it PvE? Is it too sweaty? Is it just...
It's literally both. It's PvEVP. Why is there such a... Are people really this retarded that they ask that question? It's neither, it's both.
Too chaotic. There's a general kind of impact that I don't know if even the developers anticipated for Arc Raiders to give the gaming community. This game truly feels like a social experiment. And honestly, while I think a lot of these questions and debates are close, I also think they're kind of entirely missing the point here. Now, before we get started, I just want to thank all of you so much for your support.
He's right. He's right. Completely. I agree with him. I think a lot of people that complain about the game that, oh, like Dr. Disrespect. Oh, why are there the Ark that I'm fighting an enemy? Why are blah 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 blah? That's literally the promise of the game. The Ark are the greater threat, but they are supposed to be the greater threat than people. That's literally the game. That's a philosophy behind the game.
Especially on my last video about the critical lesson that Arc Raiders has been teaching the gaming community. And seriously, I'm so thankful for every single one of y'all's thoughtful, very, very personal stories of what your raids were like, what kind of people you ran into. As on my own runs and in the community, I'm seeing a pretty heavy contention over PvP specifically, and just generally if we can enjoy the game at all, if shitty people just decide to kind of ruin it. I could digress into how I personally believe rats are like a healthy and necessary part of the Arc Raiders ecosystem.
I agree. I agree. The rats and PvP players in general are the icing on the cake that is Arc Raiders. The PvE is the basis. It's already at a point where, you know, players have no problem, you know, killing the matriarch and the queen. And now PvP comes in. Now it gets really interesting, because that's also why I can't understand the people that say, "Oh, we need PvE mode only." That thing would be dead within a month, because we are already, by having PvEVP, people killing the queen and the matriarch. The game would be dead. People would be bored out of their mind.
Specifically today, I want to bring up what I think guarantees pretty much a good experience going topside on Arc Raiders. What I've seen is that there's something wrong with Arc Raiders. The PvP system is broken. It's unfair to other players, and I totally get it. It's hard to believe that it's just not fair somewhere. But it seems like more and more
it's not supposed to be fair. Why would it need to be fair? It's the unpredictability of the PvP that makes it so good. I run around. I avoid PvP. I played on Monday a little bit. I think 2 hours to do some trials while the cold snap was still lasting, and I got shot at. I didn't get hit, but I got shot at, and I ran away. I really literally ran to the extract. I even passed a friendly player, and I warned him about the guy that was behind me. I think they got into a fight. I don't know the outcome, but I think they got into a fight. I escaped. Unscarfed, completely fine. But the friendly guy that I ran into, I might not have. That's what makes the game so good. I escaped. I ran away from the PvP player. But the friendly other dude, he likely died to the guy. And that's what makes the game so good. Now, I'm not, oh my god, the guy died. No, but you get what I mean. Like, what happened there? That's what makes the game exciting. If that wouldn't be in the game, I would have been bored out of my ass to get to the extract. It's very, very simple in my opinion. It's just the extra on the excitement that is already there makes it even more exciting. And then, of course, when you have friendly encounters, those are more exciting because of the possible bad encounters that you can have. Just like I just thought about, you know, being shot at and then running away. That's what makes a game so special.
with more time. That's just the way that it is.
Which
Before the expedition took place, which I found was like totally worth it. I found that I was bored with Arc Raiders, and I knew that that was a problem with me and not the game. And I've been finding that a lot of people are kind of just pretending like they're running out of things to do.
I partly disagree. What do I disagree with is that the game actually got kind of boring. Why do I say it? Because you can already, there's so much loot and there's an abundance of resources, an absolute abundance. But I did the expedition, which gives me 14 extra stash slots. Great, right? I've completely upgraded my stash spaces, and my stash is full all the time. All the time. That's how much loot there is. You will never, unless maybe you're a PvP player only, you will never run into a situation where you don't have any resources. It's impossible. Absolutely impossible. if you just walk around the map, even if you don't need to go into the high and mid-range loot areas to get a ton of loot. A ton. I tell you, I found blueprints, more blueprints outside of the high value loot areas than inside them. And that's how much loot there is. You can literally find loot in areas where they don't even have a name. And you loot the container and oh, blueprint. One of the last play session, I did one of the last cold snap raids on them. I went to one of the possible spawn points. I specifically went there from a different spawn point, and I looted two how are they called? Wolf packs. Perfect to do my to dealing damage to Rocketeers trial, and I destroyed 2 Rocketeers. Awesome. Done that. Perfect. Yeah, now I'm leaving. And that was just at a spawn point. No middle value or high value loot spot, no. Just a regular spawn point. A good one. A really good one. There I found several blueprints there already. It's a great loot spawn. If you know where it is. I will not tell you. No, I'm not gonna tell you. That's my loot spawn. And everyone else that knows. But yeah, there's an abundance of loot. An abundance. If you do PvP for loot, you're literally wasting your time. Literally. Because there's so much loot in the game that doing PvP, it should just be for fun. Because you can't get anything out of PvP that you can't get easier from not doing PvP. That's wholeheartedly what I believe is true. Because you can just run raid after raid, getting all the stuff that you need. And simultaneously leveling up your character on top of that, and making money on top of that. That doing PvP is actually worse. It literally is. Now, if you have fun doing PvP, sure. I will never go against someone that says, yeah, I like doing PvP, that's why I do PvP. Yeah, sure, of course, yeah. But if someone would tell me that they do PvP for the loot, yeah, you're dumb. You should actually try not doing PvP and go only for the loot. And go in areas where they aren't high value loot areas. You will get out of there with so much loot still. I get so much loot, I'm packed full before I even reach those high value loot areas. That's how much loot there is. And now I've talked so much about loot for, I would guess, almost 10 minutes, that we should go back to the video.
Which is unfortunate because this game has so much to offer, and I think this game honestly is so good that it's actually exposing just how uncreative and dumb we've gotten as gamers. We've kind of forgotten that video gaming is also about playing a role, and it's exposing how narrow our expectations of multiplayer games have truly become. Just think for a moment, if your entire experience with Arc Raiders is kill raiders, get loot, and extract, yeah, then I believe you when you say this game has nothing to offer and you're frustrated. If that's
100%. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. That's why I'm not frustrated. I have a jolly good time. I'm flouncing around on the maps like I'm a druid in a forest picking flowers. That's how the game feels to me. And then there's the danger. But the danger is not really, you know. The arcs in a lot of cases are not really a danger because you can outmaneuver them or you just kill them. Especially wasps, you can just shoot them. You literally can kill wasps with not even one magazine of the Boletta. I think it's Boletta. The green pistol. That's not the anvil. And that thing shoots light armor. That thing just shreds wasps, no problem.
Your entire experience, that's the least interesting way to play this game. And I don't mean that as an insult, I mean that simply as a design reality. We haven't had a game like this in a long time, so it's understandable.
Yeah.
Arc Raiders really gives you choice. It gives you ambiguity. It gives you a weird social pressure,
Yes.
this kind of like risk negotiation, and this like moral gray space. The rules are
Yes.
that there are no rules. But I'm finding that like a lot of us are just flattening this incredibly developed, wonderful game into just a PvP deathmatch. It's unfortunate because it just exposes that's what other multiplayers have trained us to do. Let me just give you an example. In one of my sessions, I was just gonna hang near the extract.
Wait, did I react to this already? Did I react to this already? Give me a second. Where was it? Shit, I lost it. No, I didn't. I swear to God, this video is so similar to his last one, at least in what he is saying right now, that I got confused.
And just protect raiders from getting ratted. I made myself visible on purpose. Over Christmas, I was actually sitting at...
I swear to God, I've watched this already.
Extraction zones, wishing people Merry Christmas and lighting up firecrackers, and it was really fun, and people really...
238. Let's check the... Thank God I have deleted the video. 233. No, 330. This might be actually really interesting. Arc Raiders is teaching gamers a critical lesson. 338. Only 5 minutes. Let's see if we can make this video a 10-minute react. Arc Raiders, and I had other reasons. I just kill.
That's kind of the point. Now, some of you might be saying, it's not that deep, bro. Like,
$15. Okay, no, it's not the same. It's not the same. It's not the same. It's not the same. They just feel very different, very similar. Man, being a React Andy is kind of difficult if you don't remember doing things.
really worked, at least for people just enjoying their time and ultimately trusting me. Building that helped change the tone of the experience entirely. And here's a really important part. I still got loot. I still extracted. I still had tension. The difference was that this session actually meant something by what I brought. Sure, Arc Raiders does not reward you for being nice. It rewarded me for being intentional. And I feel like this is the thing that a lot of us don't want to admit.
I swear to God, he said literally the same in the last video.
Right? We say that we want deeper games. We say that we want complexity. We say we want experiences that challenge us, but it feels like the moment a game behaves like that, it becomes uncomfortable and something's wrong with it. Arc Raiders does not tell you who the villain of the game is. Or it doesn't immediately target a hostile raider when you run into one, right? And because of that, it seems like a lot of players panic and we end up defaulting to the one behavior that we know feels familiar, right? Like shoot first and then we'll deal with the questions later. But then when it doesn't end up working out your way, you end up blaming the game and its mechanics for how unfair it is.
I practice and practice all day long, but I never get any better.
And I want to be clear.
No, I swear, by the way, bye Hans. I swear to God, did you just rename the video? I did that before, myself. No, he didn't. Why is it so similar? It literally feels like I'm watching the same video. It literally does. Let's watch some gaming drama. Shall we? So, Camelot Unchained is supposedly is built to successor to MMORPG from back in the day, even before World of Warcraft. That was very popular, very successful. And then it died. And now the original creator, one of them, is kind of, let's not say scamming people, but also not delivering on what he promises.
It was the night before Christmas, and all through the house, not a creature was stirring. Not even a Transformer Jim Jam wearing 50-odd-year-old Camelot Unchained fan. What up, friendos? Welcome back. Hopefully you had a good Christmas. Obviously we've missed that, and it's now the new year. It's 2026. I'm sure I'll definitely remember to update everything to say 2026 for the next few months, as I always don't do. But it is 2026, and with the start of this year does come another missed deadline, another failed promise, another thing that has really even failed to be addressed in any kind of way. And what I'm talking about, of course, is Camelot Unchained Entertainment. You have to, like, look at this rash I have on my neck. It's crazy, right? It hurts. Like, it's very itchy. It sucks. But basically, even people on the subreddit, which, to be fair, there's not that many fans, there's not that many true believers left on the social media for Camelot Unchained anymore, because pretty much everybody who is one of the Jim Jam wearers, you know, running downstairs in their freshly slept in Transformers Jim Jams, just hoping that this was going to release around Christmas time, most of those guys have been drowned out on the sub. They've basically been downvoted so much by the haters. The haters have took control of the ship, and they've gone elsewhere. They've probably got a little conclave somewhere where they all just sit around and reminisce about 25 years ago when they used to play Dark Age of Camelot. I'm talking a lot of shit, but at the same time,
so it was 2001. Oh, like 2001. Yeah, can see that.
I'm like, I feel bad for people who really wanted a Dark Age of Camelot 2, because what they got instead was over a decade of disappointment, and as well as, of course, some what seems like lies from Camelot Unchained and from Unchained Entertainment.
Oh, who could have guessed? Who could have guessed that that would lie to make money? Right, chat? Who could have guessed that?
So, if you've not been following along with the story, you'll have no clue what I've talked about here. I don't know why you've clicked the video, to be honest. I'm not going to be able to do a recap because it's like an hour and a half long of context that you need to understand to follow this story. But basically, the update here is that with the end of 2025, Camelot Unchained obviously released a video 2 months ago. This wasn't a long time ago. It was the end of October. So you've got November, December, and we've just started January. So 2 months ago, for whatever reason, after complete radio silence for fucking what seems like years, but mostly just long months, they came out and started releasing a bunch of trailers, you know.
The footage that I just saw, just fixed on the screen, it looked horrible. The tree at the beginning looked fine, but then I saw a building and it was horrible. Absolutely horrible. Sorry for that.
Trailers, let's air quotes that one, because what were they really? And of these videos, which again they started like 4-ish months ago with a really, you know, internal playtest in August of 2025, what started
after 10 years they publish a video about an internal playtest. Shouldn't that have been something they would have done, I don't know, 3 years in development, 4 maybe, but not 10?
with this ended with them basically saying, oh, early access coming 2025, definitely, as you can see here, literally advertised on their social media, 2025 early access. And obviously, as the months were rolling on, you're leaving yourself less and less and less time. But 2 months ago, they thought, oh, we're definitely going to be ready for early access in 2025. And then the end of the year happens, and they don't even mention it. Like, it's not even as if they didn't have the opportunity to, or they didn't post a message, because they did right here, December 26th, Boxing Day, the day after Christmas Day. Folks, as the year comes to a close, we wanted to take a moment to address the status of Camelot Unchained's development, as well as what you can expect in the near future. For the past few months, we've been expanding our testing regime with our backers. According to the thread that this was posted in, nobody's really even noticed any difference. I might be wrong on that, but at least when I checked when this was originally posted, people were like, anyone in the alpha want to say what this is? Like, is there anything new happening? Have I missed something? And they were like, no, it's pretty much the same old. So thanks in part.
Wait. So the playtesters saying that the game hasn't changed at all since all the last playtests before? That, by the way, is a very bad sign. Just so you know, that this is bad. This is really bad. You would think there would be some development of a game when they're working on a game, right? I wonder what's happening here.
To their feedback and support, we've been pushing out new content, fixing bugs, delivering on our goal of releasing our Realm vs. Realm MMORPG. This reads like a press statement, by the way, not a message to their fans, of which, you know, how many they've even got remaining at this stage. We want to thank all of them for their time and efforts again, just as we have done in the past. We have made tremendous progress in the last few months, let alone the last year, as we have taken Camelot Unchained down to the studs and are in the process of rebuilding it. We have resumed regularly scheduled playtests of the game with backers, starting with our internal testers and expanding to more tiers soon. So I guess that's why nobody who paid for access to this fucking thing has noticed any difference with this. The next step in this progress will begin early in January and will consist of a series of break the build tests with our internal backers, followed by the rest of our backers. Once that has been successfully accomplished, we will open CU up more often, and soon thereafter early access can begin. So they do mention the early access elephant in the room, I guess, but they don't mention their missed deadline. Like, this must just be one.
Why would they? That would make them look bad. Officially. Not mentioning them, it makes them only look bad unofficially.
One of those things, we might call it narcissism, or I don't know in the business world what you'd call it, but never addressing your own failings or things that you've said that make you look bad. Surely, like, one of the benefits, I've always said this, one of the only things you have going for you as an indie company or a small group of people or a human being, like a small YouTube channel such as mine, or a small mom and pop business or whatever, one of the only strengths that you have is your ability to be a human to the people that are your customers.
Yes.
Right? People can message you, you can speak to them.
Yes,
There's no
absolutely.
like corporate red tape. You don't have to lie to them. You don't have to obfuscate like anything beyond personal circumstances or whatever. You can just be a person to everybody. Why is it that a lot of these companies, a lot of these people responsible for these games and these Kickstarter failed projects, why they always take the route of just completely losing that or throwing it away? And I guess there are a couple reasons that this happens, one of which is people in these fan bases are obviously usually fucking unhinged a lot of the times.
Yes.
Like if you'll notice, a lot of smaller communities, and especially if it's smaller communities that are like hardcore audiences that also give money over to something, of course they're going to turn pretty fucking vitriolic and hateful once stuff doesn't start going their way. We know the gaming industry is rife with this, and a lot of developers come out and speak openly about the fact that while they initially want to be like close to their community or whatever, they eventually have to stop because the community is just shit by and large. And everyone will experience this when you've been through it. But at the same time, that is one of the strengths that you have. And depending on how you are with the community and what you do, that is going to determine whether or not the community does turn against you and whether or not you can continue doing this. And obviously with Camelot Unchained, the community turned against him a long time ago. But now, even still, you could be honest and you could say, yeah, we thought we'd have been ready. I don't know how. 3 months ago, you thought, oh, we're definitely within the next 3 months going to be ready for early access. But now you don't even have a date for early access.
Yeah,
and
that's
you've missed
bad.
it, and you're not addressing the fact that you've missed it. You're just basically saying, oh yeah, early access soon-ish. Who knows after these tests? Blah, blah, blah. Instead of, yeah, we missed that. We thought we'd be ready. We aren't. But don't worry, we will be soon. We know you're all looking forward to playing the game as soon as possible. I am, for sure. Until then, we will continue to showcase the intense effort put into developing CU.
Just like I looked forward to playing High Guard, but turns out I can't because my computer's too old. So I don't have the two things that are needed for the anti-cheat. Funny.
With frequent teaser/informational videos, developer live streams, more backer-led testing, and highlights of major milestones that have been reached. We cannot thank you enough for your support over the years, and we look forward to sharing more of what we've put together in 2026. The UCE team, Unchained Entertainment team. Now let's pad this video out until ad revenue mark. Just being transparent with you, obviously, and look through the social media comments where people are discussing this, because obviously you can't discuss this on their social media. I'm surprised you can even discuss this on the Reddit, to be honest, because the person who runs this subreddit is a fucking penis. There is obviously people making claims in this thread that I might as well address, I guess. I expect the game to launch, stay live for 6 months or so to avoid claims of failure to deliver, and then we'll get a sad message about lack of revenue and subsequent game closure. The timing of when that happens probably only matters to the bean counters and contract lawyers at this point. The only ramifications for Camelot Unchained is going to be not to the public, because you're owed nothing. If you back this on Kickstarter or bought into this and you think you have some kind of like legal claim or that he does actually legally owe you anything, obviously there's the meme of when he did say this, I'm not legally or morally obligated to give you anything, or whatever the quote was. He's not wrong. Like, in terms of when people gave him money on Kickstarter or pledged towards development of a game, if the game doesn't end up releasing, he doesn't have to release a minimum viable product. He doesn't have to say, oh, it's out now, you can play the game, to avoid any kind of like civil litigation from the public, because you essentially donated to the development of a game. And we've seen this with other Kickstarters. It's not going to go anywhere. If anyone tries to sue him over this, it will be a complete waste of time. I think the only way that any kind of repercussions happen with this, or anyone really holds him accountable or whatever, which I'm not saying he does even need to be, because I don't know the internals of the company well enough to know whether or not anything crazy's happened, or whether it's just another case of you've given somebody a bunch of money, they've tried to do something and they just didn't have the skill set and they failed to do so, which is not illegal in any way. It's not something you're probably reasonably going to get sued for. But investors have given him tens of millions of dollars. Whereas the public only ever gave him like 1.4 or whatever, and that went like literally a fucking decade ago. So the only people he has to try to, like, you know, avoid.
Why would any investor give that guy money? Why? But most likely because they didn't know what they were doing. They just listened to what he was saying and they didn't investigate anything. That's the only explanation I have here, that on why anyone would give him money.
Claims of failure to deliver with is the investors, and that's obviously something we'll have to wait and see if anything does happen. And my issue is they just clearly announced early access 2025. It wasn't subtle yet. This was marketing, and marketing done very badly yet again. It wasn't veiled and we misunderstood. Missing the deadline isn't the issue, IMO. This is exactly my problem, by the way, and always will be my problem with things like this. It's the fact that they make this announcement and then a few days before the end of the year backtrack with no communication of any real capacity in between. Yeah, and again, they didn't even really address the fact that they'd missed a deadline. They just...
Well, of course not. It would make them look bad. Hey, Loki. Loiken? I hope I pronounced that correctly. Yeah, of course they want to deflect as much negativity as possible so people continue giving them money. It's very, very simple. It's all about money.
Just pretended you didn't notice there was a deadline. Like, they didn't say, oh, we did miss it, guys, but don't worry, things are coming along great. They just pretended it didn't exist, which, I don't know. If you're looking for goodwill from anybody for doing anything, the first thing you do is acknowledge a mistake you've made or acknowledge when you've done something wrong or disappointed people. Or just imagine you've got a fan base. Let's pretend you're Camelot Unchained and you have fans. You don't. You've got no fans. But let's just imagine you do. Let's think it's Christmas. They've been waiting for fucking over a decade. They've given us goodwill for a decade. They're the ones, the diehards that have still stuck with us this whole time.
Yeah.
It's now the day after Christmas. Let's just show a bit of...
The diehards, the people that are the least intelligent. Because that's fundamentally what's going on here. If after a decade of this happening, you're still... Oh yeah, I can't wait until this game comes out. You are retarded. Absolutely.
Contrition and just say, yeah, guys, we messed up, but don't worry, things are on track and we're definitely very close. And this is the date you can look forward to, but obviously we're not good at keeping dates, so just bear with us. Be fucking human. But of course, instead of that, it's Christmas. Fuck you. Here's your present. We ignore the fact that we did wrong. Again.
Of course,
What type of dumbass approved early access 2025 and then decided to stop most communication about early access and cancel early access with little to no comment at the end of the year? The level of this mismanagement here drives me crazy. It's less... I mean, it is mismanagement on that level of it, but the big issue here is the lack of care, right? I can always forgive when somebody backs off more than they can chew and they just want to do more than they're capable of doing because it's the dreamer, right? Everyone...
Yeah, that's just like me. That's just like me. I'm always biting off more than I can chew. But I'm still here.
Everyone can understand wanting to do great things, wanting to excel. That's kind of where I draw the line on Kickstarter stuff and people taking money off of strangers to do something. And if that was what you were doing and you were failing, it's one way. But the minute you just start talking shit about your fans or ignoring your fans or, you know, or even if you know you don't legally owe them anything, treating them as if and letting them know you don't owe them anything, that's fucked up. Like, that's where you absolutely lose me 100% of the time. Jacobs has always been a liar and a thief. That's one of the comments. This truly is the subreddit that just keeps on giving.
Yeah.
But not supplying anything but irony. Is MJ still with the company, sucking every last penny through his dirty straw? I don't even know what that means, but it's funny, so it has to be included. I have no fucking idea what is a dirty straw in this context. So they did post a video on... was this on Christmas Day? What day was this posted? And one of the comments said, my Christmas would have been better.
Look how bad this looks. And that's after 10 years of development. Just look at this scene. This is horrible. Vanilla Vow looked way better than this. How can this be so bad? How? Oh my god. This is going, by the way, to be a thumbnail.
Or if I didn't watch this video, which is fucking hell. This was posted on the 23rd. Okay. So here you go.
Oh my. This looks like a game from the 2000s. And even back then it was Okay. This is bad.
The armor showcase. For some reason, it's in terrible quality. Oh, there we go.
To be fair, it doesn't really look better. The thing that looks best here is the water. And that's just something in engine. This is they didn't work on that. That's just, you know, every game with that engine has that water or can have that water unless you change it. I guarantee you that.
There's a noticeable difference in quality, I guess.
What the fuck is that? Look how lifeless this looks. I mean, to be fair, this statue with the lions here, that looks good. This looks good. But it's in all the color-wise, it looks like it's supposed to be here. The rest of this looks... It looks like it has no life to it. It looks so... It looks so 2003. It looks like an MMO that came out at the same time as World of Warcraft. And World of Warcraft just blew it out graphics-wise. This is so bad.
Is it my browser or is the frame rate on this really fucking bad? For this trailer that I watched in 2003 for an upcoming MMO that released 1 month later.
See? He agrees with me. This is shit.
One played it for like a week and then it died. There we go. This is Merry Christmas. Here you go, guys. Here's your present.
This is the exact opposite of building hype. After 10 years of development, if you show me this, I know you fucked up. I know you this is never coming out. Never. Even Star Citizen is better than this.
Oh, it's a fucking armor showcase for Camelot Unchained, a game that's probably never coming out. Oh, mate, that's sick. Oh, you knew exactly what I wanted. That's sick. Can I return this? No, you can't. There's no refunds. Either way, I think that's it. I think I milked this one dry. The dead horse, obviously, people always come at me with that one. Oh, it's fucking being a dead horse, aren't you? If the dead horse is still moving, and I still have a stick, and everyone around me is cheering and saying, "Fucking finish that horse off." Yeah, of course I'm going to continue doing it because. I think one of the only things that you can gain from these Kickstarter projects or projects that took people's money regards to platform and didn't deliver anything is videos like this and the communities that spring up and people talking about it and having a laugh at the expense of the money that you lost, because obviously you're most likely not going to get a game that is commensurately enjoyable. I don't even know if that makes sense Englishly. Enjoyable enough for the money that you spent and the time that you waited. But either way, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. There's a link in the video description if you want to go and support me, go buy some GamerSupps type stuff. Use my code, you'll get a discount, I'll get a kickback, and suggest content you want to see me cover. We'll be checking in on all the greatest hits again as time goes on in the new year, and just seeing whether anything's happened. Obviously, Camelot Unchained, nothing has. But within the next couple of months, hopefully there'll be something publicly playable. And that reminds me, I need to force myself to go and play Ashes of Creation. That launched at the worst fucking time ever, by the way.
Wait, Ashes of Creation launched? I haven't heard of that. Oh, that's bad. Probably already dead. I've been busy playing Arc Raiders. And I don't plan to stop.
Right on the eve of the new PoE League, going into the Christmas season and stuff. So I haven't touched that. And to be honest, even though I'd get paid to touch it by ad revenue, I really fucking don't want to, but I might suffer through that one and we'll see what happens. But either way, thanks for watching. See you next time. Stay safe. Peace.
Everything he said but me. I already watched this. We go back.
It was the night.
A PC version. Why?
Yes, I watched this already. This video is coming. Don't worry about that. This video is coming. You go to the watch later. And now we are watching this one. Blizzard's StarCraft FPS is real. Launching this year? Oh god. From 6 days ago. Guys, do we really want Blizzard to make a new game? We all know how this will end, right? Do you look forward to the new Blizzard game? No. I haven't looked forward to a Blizzard game in over a decade. Oh god, oh god. Yeah, I actually not even looked forward to Overwatch. Oh. Oh, that's bad. Let's see what this is about.
All right, this is awesome. It looks like finally this year at BlizzCon, we're going to get a new FPS game from Blizzard, and it's going to be a Star.
What do you mean new? Oh, wait. Yes, Overwatch is an FPS game. I completely forgot about that. Completely forgot that Overwatch is an FPS game. Oh my god. Brain fog.
StarCraft game. Now, you might remember Blizzard has actually cancelled, well, 2 StarCraft FPS games. You had Ghost, which was cancelled, the famous console game, obviously where you played as a ghost. It was cancelled. It never actually reached.
That was, by the way, early 2000s. Yes, early 2000s, not 2010s, 2000s. So over 20 years ago.
Any kind of like finish point in its development, although there is footage of that game out there, but obviously it was all pre-release stuff. I think it was taken from an E3. And then there was Ares, which was this it was a take on Battlefield meets StarCraft, which could have been quite interesting.
Would have been awesome, but well, actually there is no but. Would have been awesome. Everyone would have loved that.
But that was cancelled back in 2019. Anyway, take a look at this because it is super cool. So this is Windows Central, and Jez Corden is reporting here. He's like heavily into Windows, Xbox reporting, and he's going over what's going to come to Xbox in the year and all of that stuff. And obviously Blizzard's owned by Xbox now, so we've got a bunch of information here we can actually go over. And of course, we're only interested in the FPS stuff. But what we've got is this
okay, of course, yeah.
At BlizzCon 2026, I thoroughly expect to see new expansions revealed for Diablo, which goes without saying, I guess. Alongside World of Warcraft's The Last Titan, we should also get major updates for Overwatch and Hearthstone, and potentially other new mobile game reveals. There has been long-held rumors of an Overwatch mobile game on the horizon, for example, and I've heard another Warcraft mobile game project is in gestation. Now, I think we should probably just touch on that for a second because, yeah, there is a Overwatch mobile game in development. It's been in development for a while. We can piece some kind of bits together with the actual lead of the Overwatch franchise and I think of mobile and live game development was out in China recently.
Of course. And to be fair, I think Blizzard can only make money now on mobile. Because on mobile you get a completely new audience, because the old audience basically is gone. I think the majority of people that grew up with Blizzard grew up They are gone because Blizzard is dead. It's just a husk. Everyone that loved Blizzard games, they're gone. And they don't expect anything from Blizzard anymore. I mean, the only thing I expect from Blizzard now is, did they fail? Because everything I've seen in the past years from Blizzard is that they just fail with everything. It's horrible.
I think that's got something to do with the mobile game and the teams they're working with in that region for it as well. But I fully expect to see that something that will get announced this year at BlizzCon. If it doesn't launch earlier, I think that's definitely going to be a thing. So a mobile version of Overwatch is 100% coming. But what's interesting here in this article is it says the headline...
We'll also have more players than Overwatch 2, which is not hard. I don't think there are a lot of people playing it.
BlizzCon 2026 is most likely going to be StarCraft. It was previously reported that StarCraft is getting a third-person shooter treatment, and I confirmed these rumors were true via my own sources a while ago. And then goes on to talk about what Bethesda could get and all of that stuff. But of course, we're only focusing on the StarCraft stuff here. But isn't that interesting? So you may also remember as well, Blizzard were actually hiring for developers to work on an open world shooter. So if you come over here and take a look at this with me, you can see this is taken from VGC.
Open world means no story. And it's going to be very boring. Because that's what most open world games are. They're boring. There's nothing actually to do there. You're just walking around and maybe you have some spots of interest. And that's it. Which is boring.
And this is back in November the 15th, 2024. But yeah, they were basically looking for developers to work on an open world shooter game. And they weren't actually explaining what that was. It was just a very ambiguous job sort of description on their website. Obviously, these are not live anymore, so I can't show you them. But what is interesting is it is by the ex-Far Cry boss, Dan Hay, who, of course, moved over to Blizzard to work on an unannounced project. So this is LinkedIn, and...
My question is, wait. From which Far Cry? Were all Far Cry games developed by Crytek? I don't remember. The first one? Yes, but after that? I really don't remember. I don't remember. And to be fair, Far Cry is meh. It turned into meh.
Yeah, this is Dan Hay. He, as you can see his description, he now is a GM and vice president of Blizzard Entertainment. It doesn't really explain what he's doing. He just says he's a strategic leader in AAA game development, specializes in building and scaling world-class teams, live service ecosystems, and revenue-generating franchises. I thrive at the intersection of creative vision and business strategy, ensuring games reach massive global audiences while maintaining innovation and engagement. And yeah, he just says, look, he's a vice president and GM, but what is he doing? Well, this guy worked for 10 years at Ubisoft, and yeah, he was. You can see his list.
Creative director Far Cry, franchise executive Far Cry. Yeah, that does not make me be excited, to be fair, because it's Ubisoft. It's Ubisoft. Why would I be excited about this news? Would anyone? Far Cry Primal, that didn't do very well. Far Cry 4 did also not do well. Far Cry 5 did even worse than Far Cry 4, when I remember correctly. So, no one cares about these games. Senior producer Far Cry 3, okay. Far Cry 3 was good gameplay-wise. Story-wise, maybe, but the good characters in the game were so unlikable. I always wanted to see them die.
Right, so he's Far Cry producer, executive producer, then he's a franchise executive producer on Far Cry, franchise executive director on Far Cry. So I guess like what I'm trying to say here is, what does all of this mean? What could we be looking at in terms of a you know, a StarCraft shooter. Well, we've got the Far Cry boss who's been working on game development at Blizzard for over 4 years now, and this game is going to get announced, we believe, this year. What could it look like? We know that their initial project of a third-person shooter, Ghost, didn't work. That was years ago, though, so I don't think we can really count that as a modern attempt. But the game from 2019, like I said, I firmly believe, according to my sources, that that was a Battlefield-style game. It was StarCraft Battlefield with like 3 factions basically on the same map fighting each other for area control. I think there were comparisons that could be made to PlanetSide, which I kind of distinctly remember making these comparisons a while ago to PlanetSide. But
yeah, PlanetSide, man.
Fire up the PlanetSide.
Haven't heard that name in a while. But actually, I think last year someone mentioned it on stream in the chat. But that's it.
Trailer. And you'll see what I mean. Yeah, so this is the PlanetSide trailer from like 13 years ago now. Well, basically, PlanetSide was this massive, persistent war where you could join one of 3 factions. And you were constantly fighting for control over the territory. It never ended. If Blizzard could do something like that for StarCraft, I think it'd be really cool. Because I think what they might be trying to do is, if you think about it, try and take inspiration from games like Helldivers and put that into a StarCraft style. I mean, hell, it might even be just a third-person shooter like Helldivers, cooperative, and you go against, you know, you're just Marines against the Zerg. It could just play out like that, and then maybe throw in the Protoss, possibly the Zelnaga as well you could throw in, or it could be you can play as those iconic races against each other. I think it's going to be really interesting. Also, this...
I actually agree. Now, do I believe that modern Blizzard can do that? No. No, absolutely not, no. At least not in a way that people would like it. I don't believe that. Not for a second.
Trailer really does show its age. But yeah, I think I used to love playing as I used to fly the Mosquitoes all the time. As the Terrans, I loved it. I absolutely... In fact, there's videos on my channel of me, like, I've got guide videos of how to pilot the Mosquito. I was an absolute weapon with that thing. Amazing. Oh, this is amazing. Also, you've got to take into consideration the key art for BlizzCon. Now, typically, when Blizzard releases the art for an upcoming BlizzCon, it will include characters from franchises that will feature prominently in...
Yeah, never seen this guy before, ever. Who is that? Is it a guy from Overwatch? Might be, I don't know. I mean, StarCraft, Lilith from Diablo, where we still don't have a Diablo, Warcraft, yeah.
The showcase. Now, obviously, you know, we've got Thrall there, or Thrall. We've got Diablo woman. What, I've forgotten. Lilith. That's Lilith, right? Anyway, Diablo woman. We've got a StarCraft Marine, and then we've got Doomfist, looking fancy in Hearthstone cards. I mean, given the placement of the Marine, it probably indicates that, hey, we're the main sort of show, and get ready for it. But you know, it might not be. Again, take it with a pinch of salt. But generally, they do feature.
By the way, I don't even like the art style they have here. I don't. They've done way better art back in the day, but I would guess different artist.
The game, which is going to sort of be the main, you know, selling point of the event. But I'm going to be honest with you guys, I am friggin' hyped for this. It's about time Blizzard did something new. If they can produce and deliver another FPS game, sign me up for that. The StarCraft universe, I love that anyway. It just depends what they give us. I think in my wildest dreams, like, yeah, I'd love that PlanetSide style, massive, like, never-ending combat, fighting over a planet or even multiple.
Yes, sure, but can Blizzard do that? No, I don't think so. No.
Planets and there's just constant war going on. That'd be really cool. But I'd take a Battlefield style game if they want to go back to that, or I would even take a Helldivers style cooperative game where you're completing missions and objectives. It would be really interesting if they put together something like Destiny. That'd be really interesting to me. That would. Almost like Blizzard's take on a FPS MMO. I think that'd be really interesting. But again, remember, the people involved in this and the man in charge is from Far Cry, and Far Cry is a big open world. So we could come back sort of full circle to what we thought a few years ago, was that he...
Yeah, but will it just be a Far Cry with a Blizzard skin? Because if so, then Who wants to play that? There's a reason why there hasn't been a Far Cry game in years. How many years? I don't know. I think people are sick of Far Cry. Or at least the last ones. I think the last good... Everyone says that Far Cry 3 was the last good one.
He has been brought in to work on a sort of RPG style FPS game. Maybe this could be a single player experience, but I think that would be very unlikely because Blizzard is generally focused on multiplayer experiences. All right, guys, thanks for watching.
Yes, and how is that working out for them? Not that great.
The video, I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, then let me know what you think about this in the comments below. But I'm actually really hyped for this. I'm so hyped it made me want to jump on and knock out a video on this, because I think this could be, hopefully, a really interesting game, at least, to see its development. All right, guys, I've been Stylosa, and I'll catch you lovely lot on the next video. See you soon.
No. No. What does the comment say? It's gonna be mobile, isn't it? Yeah. I find it hard to believe. Yeah. StarCraft is the last respectable franchise Blizzard has. I hope they don't fumble it. Yeah, StarCraft is the last respectable franchise that Blizzard has because they haven't done anything with it lately. I mean, Warcraft is dead. Diablo is not Diablo anymore. It's just an ARPG with the name. Finally, StarCraft Ghost. Yeah. Still playing StarCraft 2. We refuse to die. The esports is still amazing. Very curious to see where this goes. I'm not. I would be surprised if that goes anywhere. Really. Oh. We're actually doing something fun. This one. I tried Arc Raiders and now I'm addicted. From Raf and Raf Rumbles. Raf. I actually watched Raf's stuff while he was playing World of Warcraft Classic. Great videos, by the way. And the guy has a lot of skill because he's a League of Legends player. Excuse me for a moment, I have to take a piss again. Ow. There was something on my microphone. No idea what it was. Okay. A rough video. This hopefully is good.
Attention gamers. I am a League of Legends player, which means two things. First, I have a deep hatred for other people and I've come to only expect negativity from my interactions with players in online games.
If you do PvP in Arc Raiders, yeah, it matches.
And that I've never really played other games because League has a habit of consuming people. The only time I've really ventured out was during the hardcore WoW days, which was arguably the most fun I've ever had playing games, where I won over the communities of many top streamers as well as the victims of many plushie tosses, and whenever anyone ventured into the depths of hell from other games, I was sure to welcome them.
Are you watching Rob?
Yeah,
Rob.
yes, I'm watching his video.
That guy has the funniest League videos of all time.
Bro, dude, straight up, these are the greatest fucking analogies I've ever heard. He just rips them off. I wonder how natural they come to him.
My Steam library looks sad as shit, where the only games are from sponsored agreements that may or may not have ghosted me and never fully paid me, a small dabble into the world of drug dealing, and 2024 Pokemon, where I made a single video showing the adventures of Dan Clancy and never touched it again.
Oh boy.
Outside of League and WoW, I have less than 10 total hours in other games, and it shows.
Wow.
If you were to ask me...
Well, that's massive. He's literally no-lifing those games. Boy, oh boy. Oh my god. And now Arc Raiders? Oh my god. Yes, please. Please? Show me what you got. Please.
Me what an extraction shooter is, I would say it's what my pork sword turns into if I look at photos of Sydney Sweeney for too long and I've never picked up a gun in my life IRL or in a game. I mean a gun that you have to aim. Okay, ignoring the fact that my editor is a dickhead, today I figured I would try the latest Knees of the Beast to see if I can go from ADC to ARC, and let me tell you I was excited.
Yep.
And let me tell you I was excited.
A few moments later.
First of all, in the basic step, you need to launch the skill. Right click on your game and go to its property. Under the general tab, you will find the option of launch option. In the launch option,
Turns out Vanguard isn't happy when your computer boots up games that aren't League of Losers, but with it I was in, and for those of you like me who see this game but didn't care to understand it, here is all you need to know about the lore.
Here it comes.
In the future the world gets so fucked up because people can't agree on a single thing that it just gives up boom apocalypse, and what's left is divided into two parts. The top side, which is controlled by artificial intelligence, big greedy asshats that created an army of deadly AI. These are called the Ark. And then District 13, the underground aka Speranza, where all the refugee humans live. Most of them are pussies down here, but they are running out of resources, and it relies on the big dick swingers to go up top and fight against weaponized chat GPT, but also each other to...
Pretty much that's how it is. Yes, yes, he's right. Yes.
Get resources and bring them back down for the pussies hiding down in the Earth's asshole. These people are called raiders. I'm a raider, and this is my first time going to the top side to grab shit for my family. Almost immediately I see a flare and hear fighting, thinking it's a few raiders taking on one of Elon's weaponized turds, only to see one dude in doggy style and his friend fighting another raider. I'm not one for bullying, so I promptly inform him from afar that I've never aimed a weapon before. I decide to take cover next to Tweedledee and Tweedledum, only for the dickhead on the top of the hill to introduce himself. I blame the moron in the hazmat suit having a panic attack behind me, so I'm just like, bro, go find your own quasi-melted Honda Civic to hide behind, which ends in him getting knocked as well, and with no gun training I had to just let the killer instinct take over.
Killer instinct, huh?
I believe I'm supposed to say hooray, as I now had all the components to film the sequel to The Human Centipede, but the first order of business was to walk over to this douche canoe who apparently can't play well with others and tell him if he thought getting shot 30 times was bad, wait until he feels one of my punches.
This is good.
If I'm being honest, this was then followed by a discussion between me and two half-dead guys on the logistics of how I revive them, only for us to come to this conclusion.
I have no idea.
This meant one of them would be bleeding out while I would be putting the other out of his misery in a humane way. At this point, if anyone were to ask, I was...
I can see I can see the greatness of the content of that he makes if he continues playing the game. If he continues, I don't know. It's my first Arc Raiders video I see of him.
Definitely the favorite to win this season of the Hunger Games, and decide not having any experience in this type of game, I was feeling cockier than a show horse on Viagra for my next fight, and I already found my next dumbass victim.
And he's almost dead with one shot.
Hope the pussies back home were hungry because daddy was bringing some loot back from his first mission.
Yeah.
It turns out losing everything meant that my pre-game routine in my next game consisted of being told that my gun was basically a decoration because the concept of crafting and buying ammo was beyond the comprehension of someone who has only played 4-button games before.
Yeah, I can see that. Absolutely, yeah. If you only play League and you come into Arc Raiders, you are completely overwhelmed because you have no idea what's going on. Sure, yeah, 100%. Absolutely. Very understandable. It's like someone only playing Candy Crush, woman, then they start playing actual games. Oh my god. It's a completely new world for them.
I said fuck it, went into the game and just figured I would panty raid a nuke women's locker room, and if push came to shove I would just whip a bunch of tampons in my Rattlers magazine and pray for the best. Turns out the best thing I found in here was some sunflower seeds and a dog collar that was signed by my favorite webcam beggar.
I hate every single fucking person.
After 5 minutes of riveting gameplay where I greatly increased my mechanical skill of opening and closing high school lockers, I had a weapon and things to put in it, so my mindset at this point was this was a win and I was ready to make like a fart and blow this shithole. I found one of the elevators back to District 13, but it turns out these take longer to prepare than it takes pirate software to apologize for fucking up, and worst of all, they attract the deadly drones.
Yep. The elevators really do take a while to arrive, which in a lot of cases that doesn't matter. In a lot of cases, unless Argus are around or maybe players. They might be hostile. If you already encountered the players and they are just fine dudes, it's not a problem. Which later is what happens to me mostly. Fun fact, the Boletta, the pistol here, is actually really good. Especially if you fight those little drones. One magazine, maybe, and the drone is down. Run. Not yet. Yet. Now. Now. Time to run. Get in. Get in. I'm getting aggro. Get in. Get in. Hello, Kali. Get in and leave. Oh, someone's there.
My first quest was in the book's AK.
You thought that was me playing? No. It's a RAV video. Man. So far this video is really fun.
KA don't run into any dickheads and bring home some Taco Bell for the pussies, and here's where I was shown that apparently chickens can be used to craft materials for you. Not entirely sure where that fits into my breakdown, but the combination of that and me going on a bit of a shopping spree and I had ascended. Future missions would be easy as shit, I could feel it, and now I was basically ready to fuck up some LLM murder machines. Of course some tit licker had to show that he too failed playtime class in kin.
Did he just say some tit licker? This is so good. This is amazing. Oh my god. This is quite interesting. Yes, it is.
Kindergarten, and it was also at this point where I learned at a very unfortunate time that you can climb over objects that were previously protecting you.
Yeah?
Anyways, it turns out someone pissed.
Yeah, climbing is a major thing in the game, by the way. You might not know. Have you never seen me play the game? Just curiosity, because I'm playing the game a lot on stream actually.
This dude's Cheerios this morning, so unfortunately he was just gonna have to get outplayed by a mobile player.
And he's down. Yeah, that's how you do it.
I stole all his shit and then proceeded to rage bait him, demanding an apology for starting the fight, saying he would have to beg me to revive him, declaring he would have to pledge his allegiance as my bitch.
By the way, the player is already out of the game. Here he leaves. There, he left.
I stole all his shit and then proceeded to rage bait him, demanding an apology for starting the fight, saying he would have to beg me to revive him, declaring he would have to pledge his allegiance as my bitch moving forward. Only to realize that he had been dead and disconnected from this lobby like 5 minutes ago and I was talking to myself. Anyways, I remembered from the last time I called for an Uber back to Speranza how much attention it attracted, but with my newfound third-person shooter confidence that would be the plan, to lure them out this time and then kill them for my quest.
Oh, this is good.
None of them came, but then I heard this. My first potential ally. I froze up in full social autism at my first interaction with another raider like this, and without saying anything we were BFFs, ready to take on whatever danger.
That's, by the way, the standard, how it plays out with me in raids. I meet people, we go friendly, yeah, everything's fine, and then we just leave each other alone. Just, I walk that way, he walked that way. It's so funny. It's really funny. Like on Monday, I fought a rocketeer. Well, I threw a wolf pack at him and then it exploded. And then I shot at some other drones that I then destroyed. I got a little hurt. I healed myself and I was done. And then another guy asked if I need help. And then we were standing there. Not just we two, no, we were 4 people there. And everyone was friendly, just, yeah. It's so... That's why I love this game so much. And yes, I've said that same shit, I think a dozen times by now.
Dangers were ahead of us. But then I had a better idea.
Yep.
And that's the story of how I ruined my first friendship, but if there's one thing I know how to do from playing League, it's go next.
Yeah. Oh my god.
In each round it was becoming painfully obvious that I didn't know which guns were good, nor did I understand the rudimentary concept that sliding uphill is suboptimal when a deadly robot is shooting at you, but I am happy to say I did.
How do you not know? That's just... I mean, can you slide upwards in real life? No. Why would you expect it to be a thing in the game? Makes no sense.
It ended up coming out on top. I killed my first metal moron and was ready to take it back to Bitchville to secure part of the quest, but the elevator was surrounded by more of those fuckers who took all those jobs away from Amazon delivery drivers, and I wasn't going to stand for that, so I started what would turn into my deadliest battle yet.
Oh.
Kaya, please just fucking go. Just stop.
Should have not left the building.
Fucking go. Just stop.
You dumb bitch. You. That's what always happens. I get triggered by people playing stupid. I get triggered here. I get triggered when I watch Dr. Disrespect play it and getting ambushed by a Rocketeer. It's always the same.
Turns out they called mom in for backup and I wasn't prepared
Oh
for that.
no. Oh. That's a Rocketeer for everyone that doesn't know. That's a Rocketeer. Like the name said, it shoots rockets. He's most likely fucked. Completely fucked.
Fucking go. Just stop.
I ran out of tampons to shove in my firearms, which meant I would only have my Fortnite pickaxe left, and long story short, this ended in me doggy styling over to one of the robots as if I could plead my case to him.
Look at me, man. I'm not funny. I steal jokes. My dick don't work, man. I got to piss in a plastic bag, man. I got no dick.
In a moment of desperation, I turned to a bit of looks maxing to see if it would make a difference, but in my very next battle, having a stronger jawline did nothing but attract some greasy weasel gamer to take advantage of the fact that I was already getting gangbanged by two of these weaponized kites.
Yeah. That's quite normal. Quite normal if you don't get into a lobby with basically all people being friendly. And like I said before, aggression-based matchmaking. If you know, you know.
After dying, I figured this dude was about to learn about karma when killing me meant he was now outnumbered. Turns out that man was a cold-blooded killer, and it wasn't a man at all, it was Mrs. Ming, my landlord from Schedule 1. It's crazy how all these games have connected storylines. Next round I was playing high-stakes peekaboo with another prompt-engineered pigeon when sure enough another one of my dickhead cousins had to show why he'll never have real friends because he makes decisions like getting fucking face tattoos and screwing over his own family.
Oh boy.
To be honest, I was losing all hope in humanity. The next game I was so down bad I didn't even have a weapon, so I knew if I ran into any branded Tesla I would be capital F.
He doesn't know about free loadouts. How do you not know? The game literally tells you. There's a tutorial. It literally points you. Hey, there, free loadout. How about use that?
Fuck.
Oh yeah, he's fucked. Is he getting stuck?
My hope was at an all-time low until I heard gunshots. It was a friend. With less health than a chain-smoking COPD patient, I stumbled across to him. He couldn't tell if I was friendly, but he knew for damn sure I was useless, and thanks to him, I was saved.
Man.
Psych, I stepped on an anthill, and whatever the hell this thing was not exactly in the mood to deal with me.
Yeah.
So as I slowly died out in a river of my ancestors' blood, I thought if I'm going to learn how to be a real raider, then I should be looking at what the top raiders are doing, the ones that everyone is watching. But the guy at the top was a total nutcase, literally.
Yeah.
If we die here, this will be my 13th reason.
It won't happen. It won't happen. I never die to lanes. Okay, well, you know, when you do that, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? Peanut is fucking, I'm dead. I was, Peanut is purposely a...
Oh my god, yeah.
And after watching him for a while, I was left with more questions than answers. Like how many Big Macs are safe to consume in a day, and how did this VTuber convince so many of his viewers' dads to have sex with him? But I also learned that what I was lacking was something called goop, and that the most goop could be found in these areas outlined in red.
Wait, did it literally take him watching other players to find that out? Because... I mean, did he... What? How do you not know? Well, no game sense. Fucking MOBA player.
The new plan would be I would head to that zone and be a full-blown Goopa. But the surveillance system seemed sophisticated, and the second I went inside I had to deal with a weaponized Roomba.
Yeah?
That said, I made a friend and we built an alliance. I would goop while she would do all the work. I asked if my looks maxing was making her feel anything in her nether region.
Negative!
We even met a third on Bumble and made a blood pact by squatting in front of each other a few times, and if you think I was bad, this guy didn't even have the confidence to pull the damn trigger. I showed them the ropes, but then it was time to part ways and to take all the goop I acquired back to Bitchville to feed my family.
It's
I
not
needed
even
an
a
elevator,
lot.
and when I found one I knew I had made it.
Oh, and he falls. Yeah.
I could hear someone opening it, and I knew my time was limited. All of my hardships would be worth nothing if I
does
didn't
lead
make
up.
it. Having a full inventory worth of goop would be diminished if I couldn't find it, but it was there. I had done it. I had completed the first introductory tutorial quest in the game.
Wait, what? He finished the first quest? Oh my god. And it just took him hours. This was great. This was so much fun. Here's the link, guys. This was so good. 1 month ago, does he have more? He doesn't. What a shame. Wait. No, he didn't. Yeah. No other videos for Arc Raiders by him. That's sad. What do we watch? How long am I streaming? About 3 hours. Ooh, man, we are literally doing so much Arc Raiders content, man. Oh, I already watched that. That was just for me. Oh, this is basically one stream, so we don't do that today. The government is yeah, we're watching this. Asmon Gold video. So the government is panicking. No one believes them. Well, duh. The government is lying all the time. By the way, every government. Every government. Never trust a government. Come on.
The Department of Justice. The Trump administration is continuing its unprecedented support for the Epstein transparency after the Biden administration declined to make any files public. This is obviously a misrepresentation. Trump has gone out and pretended like he didn't know what they're talking about.
Yeah,
And he
he
tried
did.
to make the appeal to triviality with Epstein multiple
Yes.
times. And it's just so obvious what happened, right?
Yes.
And also, you broke the law by not releasing
And I think since then, or around the time, it came out that, oh, Trump is in the Epstein files. A lot.
everything. And they know that. They should get impeached. There should be a level of accountability. At the end of the day, you've got to have heads roll if things aren't going the way that they should be going. They were forced to release them by law. Yes, they were forced to release them by law, and even then, they did not fully comply with the law. There were two main points of contention that they did not follow with, right? So, number one, every redaction had to be explained, and number two, all of the files had to be released. The redactions were not explained, and all of the files were not released. Keep that in mind. Anyway, so the first administration was prosecuting Jeffrey Epstein for heinous crimes at the time of his death. The Obama administration declined to investigate Epstein. I mean, I don't know really why. Who knows? Well, actually, wait a second. Wasn't Epstein's trial in 2007? Obama didn't take office until 2009.
Wait, what?
What the fuck does Obama have to do with this?
The first Trump administration was prosecuting Jeffrey Epstein for heinous crimes at the time of his death. The Obama administration declined to investigate Epstein. Well, yeah, Epstein was investigated. The first process was in 2007. He was most likely not found guilty, and then it still continued, you know, during the Obama administration. And Obama didn't do anything. That's how this makes sense. That's at least the explanation that I have.
Jesus Christ. Okay, anyway, he had two trials. I don't know if he had one then or not. Was it 2008? Well, Obama wasn't in office in 2008 either. He got the deal in 2008? Yeah, Obama won the election in 2008, but he took office in 2009. Like, the president wins, they win the election in 2000, and usually, in like every 4 years, right? But then they actually take office later on. It's the same as like Zoran Mandami he's not the mayor of New York right now. He will be the mayor of New York on January 1st. And the president takes office on the 20th of January, right? That's how, for example, like during January 6th, right? That's very evident because Trump was the president during January 6th.
Sure.
So yeah, it's not acting yet. Yeah, he's the president-elect, but he's not the president. So I think this is totally fucking bullshit that they're even bringing this up. But anyway, maybe there's something I don't know about. Either way, it seems like bullshit. Why is this material being released now? Prior to President Trump's enactment of the Epstein Transparency Act, various judges had declined the Trump Department of Justice request to unseal the Epstein-related material. The enactment of the new law gave the judges the legal predicate that they found sufficient for granting the Trump administration standing requests before the courts to unseal the files. How much more material can we be expected to release? Because this is the big question, right? Because
I didn't really understand what's going on here. Why they could say no. Oh, I'm in the way of the shed. Let's be the shed. Well, Asmongold's shed.
I think Ro Khanna said that that it was like 2.5 gigabytes were released, but there were over 300 gigabytes. So, I mean, I think that's a pretty big fucking difference, or 200, something like that. So, yeah. The difference between 2008 and 2025 is like the planet decided to jump off a cliff and protest. Yeah, it's a big difference. And I mean, I think the world always changes, though, to be fair. So how much more material can we expect to be released? The Department of Justice has hundreds of thousands of pages of material to release, including material that must comply with court orders. The court orders can slow down the Department of Justice's ability to review and redact material, but it will not prevent the release of the material. The Department of Justice has had more than 200 lawyers working around the clock reviewing each individual file for release. This is an arduous process, as each document and photograph must be individually reviewed by the DOJ and the Southern District of New York in order for potential redactions and to protect victims and potential veterans, victims and protect victims or potential victims. So I think this is stupid. I think if you gave me 200 guys, you could have gone through pretty much all of this in 1 month. So are you telling me that you have 200 people that are on this and this is all you could produce after an entire month? Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I can see that.
I bet 10 people could have done more than this. This is crazy. They're lazy.
Of course they are.
So yeah, after fucking a month, they've created 2 gigabytes.
They're working for the government. Of course they are lazy. I mean, duh.
Bytes of information. That's crazy. Should have kept Doge around? Yeah, exactly. AI can do it better. Anybody could do it better.
Yes.
Somebody
easy.
who gave a shit could do it better. So anyway, what is being redacted? The Department of Justice is committed to transparency and redacting only what is legally required. The department is required by law to redact identifying information about the victims, minors, or potential victims, as well as privileged material. This is a legal term. I'm not familiar with what it means. No redactions have been or will be made to protect famous individuals or politically exposed persons. Okay, that's at least good to see. Why have some photos been released and then removed? Good question.
Yeah.
As material is released, the Department of Justice is receiving incoming from individuals alleging to be victims and their lawyers requesting that certain information be removed. Out of an abundance of caution, the material is temporarily removed for review and will be released again with appropriate redactions if legally required. So let me get this straight. So you guys had 200 people working on this, but not only could you not do all the information, but the information that you did do, you did it wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, this is really good to hear.
Yeah.
This is amazing. So
people that work for the government. The usual. Complete incompetency.
Oh, lawyers will block shit. They love that. Maybe. Sounds like horse shit to me. Well, anyway, how are people responding? Check that guy's hard drive. I highlighted the law for you. No later than 30 days after the date of the enactment of the law, and then all. Yes, obviously, very fucking true. On what basis was file 468 removed? I don't know. And so Thomas Massey did a... Oh, no. He did a poll on this? Give me a minute. Is Attorney General Pam Bondi being transparent and complying with the Epstein Files Transparency Act by releasing the appropriate and necessary information? Well, I mean, my opinion is it's no.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. I think the Trump administration has a problem here. Oh, I wonder why they took Maduro.
Wow. Thomas Massey just announced he's opening up an impeachment investigation into Pam Bondi. Okay, let me pull this up right now. I didn't even know about this.
Wait.
What are you going to do about it to force them to comply? I mean, can you do anything?
Oh, absolutely. Look, people have talked about, and by the way, Todd Blanche is the face of this, but it's really the Attorney General's office, Pam Bondi, who is responsible. And there are several ways to get at this. Some take longer, some are shorter. The quickest way, and I think the most expeditious way to get justice for these victims is to bring inherent contempt against Pam Bondi. And that doesn't require going through the courts. And give her, and basically, Rokan and I are talking about and drafting that right now.
What are you going to do about it to force them to comply?
Jesus. So now they're going in on it. You can't legally force people to comply with an order that endangers potential victims. I'm not saying that's what they're doing, but they claim to be protecting victims with their lawyers. Yeah, they're lying.
Yeah, of course they're lying.
I mean, they're lying. Everybody knows they're lying.
It's
like,
all
what are we
political.
talking about? Like, it's obvious they're lying. Like, and here's how you know that they're lying. because there are previous frames of reference and instances that they were proven to be lying in. Like, for example, them saying, oh, we're out of files. We don't have any more files. Well, if you don't have any more files, what did you just release? Well, it looks like you had more files. You lied.
Yeah.
So there you go. Her having it on her desk. Yeah, exactly. They're framing MJ even after his death. They don't even care about us. Exactly. Yeah, and this is the other thing, too, is that they don't even explain why this happened. Like, this is, again, like, as I said before, like, I've always really liked Michael Jackson. I think this is fucking ridiculous. It is absolutely fucking ridiculous that they went and they took the photo of Michael Jackson with his kids right there, and then they blurred it out. They blocked the whole thing out, and they never explained why. They never said why. I'm sorry, but posting this photo with Michael Jackson and Bill Clinton is going to make people believe that Michael Jackson is a fucking weirdo.
Yes.
And you should not be posting that without any context at all.
Yes.
You shouldn't be doing that. It's
100% right. Yes, Asmon is right, like always. By the way, I have heard that Michael Jackson was chemically castrated as a child to protect his voice. I'm not sure if that's true. I don't know. Now, can I believe it? Well, it would be something that could explain a lot of things. You know?
Crazy. It's a Getty image. It's bad faith. It's massively bad faith. It's crazy, crazy, crazy bad faith. And anyway, let me see if I can finish the rest of these too, because I think this is the way it is. I remember there's GOP rep last year who tried doing the same to Attorney General Garland, and nothing ever happened. It's all theater. Exactly, that's the problem.
Yeah.
And she's right, but she shouldn't be.
It's that simple.
Why do you think he is working so hard not to get them released for so many months? What do you think the real reason is?
These files implicate billionaires and friends of his and political donors that he's trying to protect. And Epstein also had close ties to our own intelligence agencies and Israel's intelligence agencies. That's what.
Remember, the Prime Minister of Israel was on the island.
What?
Oh boy.
Yep.
So much effort in trying to stop this, and I do believe they'll try to stop it somewhere else, and that's going to backfire on them too.
So
and Epstein also had close ties to our own intelligence agencies and Israel's intelligence agencies.
Yep.
That's why there's so much effort in trying to stop this. And
wow.
Yeah.
And Do Better Watch his back. I mean, it's already out there, right? Anything happens to him, I feel like it's just going to radicalize people 1,000 times more. Yeah, I mean, that's really what I think. Oh, this is it. Let me watch this. Okay, here we go.
Plus, a bipartisan conversation with the two members of Congress who pushed to pass the law calling for the Epstein files to be made public. Has the Trump administration obeyed that law? We'll talk with Kentucky Republican Thomas Massie and California Democrat Ro Khanna. Good morning and welcome to Face the Nation. So far, there have been few surprises in the tens of thousands of documents related to the case against.
I think that it was kind of surprising how deranged it was. I do. Like, it wasn't like anything super crazy, but it was pretty bad.
Convicted sex offender and accused sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein and his partner, convicted child sex offender Ghislaine Maxwell. The Justice Department says that 1,200 names identified as victims or their relatives were redacted, along with
1,200 victims we know of. 1,200. Still less than one gang of a certain group of people in the UK did.
Materials that could result in their identification.
Nobody is mad about that. Nobody is mad about the every single word on the entire page. Like, come on.
Will the release of the documents satisfy Congress and the political forces who lobbied for their disclosure? And much more importantly, will it satisfy the survivors of Jeffrey Epstein and their families?
No.
The two House members who pushed their colleagues into passing the bill to release these documents, Republican Thomas Massey, who's in Garrison, Kentucky, and Democrat Ro Khanna, who joins us this morning from Palo Alto, California. It's good to have both of you here. I want to start with you, Congressman Massey, because in these past 48 hours, we have seen the Justice Department acknowledge it's an incomplete release, but they have put out more than 13,000 files. They say more will come. This isn't everything you asked for just yet, but would you acknowledge that they are complying with the spirit, if not the intent of your law?
No.
Here it comes.
No.
Come on.
No, they're flouting the spirit and the letter of the law. It's very troubling, the posture that they've taken. And I won't be satisfied until the survivors are satisfied. You know, I said in the hours leading up to this release that we will know if they are complying if they implicate any of the other criminals that are involved and the suspects that are involved.
And they don't.
Witnesses the victims themselves have given to the FBI, and they've never been mentioned.
Yeah.
Well, there are some disclosures in here that seem new. Congressman Khanna, the documents confirm that the FBI received a complaint about Jeffrey Epstein back in 1996. But
what is this now? About the Epstein files that got released and were all completely redacted.
Wow. Woman, whose name is Maria Farmer, who made that complaint, said federal officials failed to follow up. She said the disclosure makes her feel redeemed.
Wasn't Trump on there? Yes, but back then we didn't know. This video is from 3 weeks ago.
I don't think that's like federal officials don't follow up with a lot of these things. Like that's just it's realistically it's just sometimes doesn't happen. So yeah.
And that this was one of the best days of her life to see these documents made public.
Like I'm just being realistic, right? I'm being realistic that, and also you could say that that's a problem in itself. I'd agree with you, but like I don't think that in itself is enough to say that for sure it was a conspiracy, right? Just because I've seen how these things have happened myself.
What action do you want taken around a case like this?
That was the single most important disclosure of what we got. I know Maria's sister. She sounded the alarm in 1996. She complained to the FBI. The problem is that Epstein was so connected with law enforcement and powerful politicians, the FBI did nothing for a decade. Frankly, she deserves compensation.
What a surprise.
She deserves an explanation. But the broader point is, Blanche was on this morning saying that Massey and I have a problem that it's taking too long. That's not the problem. The problem is this was a slap in the face of survivors. What do they want? They want to know who are the rich and powerful men who visited Epstein's rape island and covered up the abuse.
It's so fucking simple, isn't it? It's so obvious what everybody wants.
And nice that he caught the island, you know, with the R thing. That's powerful.
It's not like this is some, oh, what do they want? Nobody knows. Everybody knows. It's in plain English. It's fucking obvious.
And the key documents that our law basically said needed to be released, the 60-count indictment that actually implicates a lot of these people.
Keep in mind, this is what he said yesterday, is that 2 of the people that were implicated were named, 58 were not.
And the prosecution memo were not released. It's not about the timeline.
And it's not about, like, you know, it's like you could say, like, oh, 55 were released, 5 weren't. Okay, you know what? But the vast majority were not released.
It's about the selective concealment.
Well, yet, right? The Deputy Attorney General said there are more disclosures that will be made. You believe that they will not release that particular part? I mean, you did give them some leeway for redactions.
You did.
Well, first of all, the redactions were excessive, and even Harvard law professors who have looked at that have said you can't redact internal communications, you can't redact workforce product, and the courts are going to find that these were excessive. But my point, and I'm sure Congressman Massey can elaborate, is that we want the files out. So if our sounding the alarm on what is missing is going to help them get those files out, fine. But this shouldn't be a big document up. There's a pretty simple point. Who raped these young girls? Who covered it up? And why are they getting away with it?
Because they're in power and have a lot of
Isn't it crazy
money.
that we live in like an alternate universe where this very simple and very obvious reality is being hidden, obfuscated, and trying to, oh, where'd it go? Where are they? Oh, what is this? It's so fucking ridiculous, isn't it? Oh my God, drives me crazy.
So you're saying specific things regarding the indictment. Congressman Massey, I saw in a video that you posted, you had a very specific benchmark of success here. You said you know there are at least 20 men accused of sex crimes known to the FBI. How do you know that number, and do you know those names?
Yeah, the survivors' lawyers have told me those numbers, and they've described their professions in general. But they've only given me one of those names, and I mentioned that in a congressional hearing, Jess Staley. So I searched these documents. I didn't see Jess Staley's name, nor did I see 19 other names.
Do you think he's lying? I don't think he's lying. So he literally just named somebody. He said, this is one of the people that should be in it, and they're not in it, so they're lying. There you go.
And here's why we shouldn't be optimistic. That Blanche or Bondi are going to release these things. They sent a 6-page memo to Congress and said they cited pre-existing laws as reasons that they weren't going to follow our law. For instance, our law requires them to release information regardless of embarrassment, but they are trying to say that a previous law prevails when it doesn't. Common sense says it doesn't. The Privacy Act doesn't protect them from that. And then also, as Rose said, internal communications, they're using a FOIA standard that doesn't apply because our law already says they have to give us internal communications.
In terms of the gentleman there you referenced as accused, I mean, being in the document doesn't necessarily prove criminal behavior, right?
Obviously. Everybody knows.
But
yeah, of course.
And in terms of the redactions, what the deputy...
Why is that even a question? Of course, only because the fix you can be on that island and not, do anything to the girls. Of course. I mean, duh. It's just, there is a possibility. And that has to be investigated. What are we talking about here?
Attorney General said is that they...
Pretty sure a congressional law outweighs that. Of course it does. Yeah, it's not like...
We're abiding by your law, and also a judge in New York had ordered them to listen to victims. So they're claiming that information that they had initially even published Friday, they had to pull down because they were trying to protect victims. You don't sound convinced that they are abiding by, this intent.
No, they are not abiding, and all 3 judges who released the grand jury material said that our law trumps the prior law. That's just common sense, Law School 101. Yet Todd Blanche is using a different theory that wouldn't survive first contact with any court, which is he's trying to say that prior laws override our law. That's not the way this works.
Yeah.
Okay.
I understand
what
that.
are you going to do about it to force them to comply? I mean, can you do anything?
Impeach them. Yeah, put them in fucking jail. What are we doing? I think that there is a growing frustration that a lot of people have, and this is a Democrat frustration, it's a Republican frustration. I'm going to be honest. It's a worldwide frustration.
Yeah.
We see crash out protests in Indonesia. We're seeing them in Serbia. We're seeing them in Europe. We're seeing them in America. We're seeing them, you would be seeing them in Venezuela, but you can't. We're seeing them everywhere, right?
And since then, Iran.
All over the world where you can have any ability to protest. Brazil, Mexico, Nepal, Bulgaria, yeah, everywhere. I think that people, the internet has given people, because now I think that everybody basically in majority of countries has the access to the internet, right? They're able to see information and see the way the world is. I mean, to an extent, right? Not completely, but like to an extent. And in being able to do that, they realize that they're being run and ruled by a bunch of fucking scammers, clowns, pedophiles, rapists, and demons.
Yes.
That's what's happening. And they're saying, well, this sucks. This is fucking ridiculous. Why are we putting up with this shit? right? They're taking bribes, they're taking money.
Of course.
They're living high on the hog. Well, they treat everybody else like actual hogs. That's it. And I think people are tired of it. They're totally tired. Do you think Trump should go to jail right now if something is unredacted and it proves he's a pedophile? So if something was proven, so let's think about it theoretically, right? Trump is proven to be a pedophile by this. It's dead to rights, 100%. Should he go to jail? Absolutely. It's not even a question. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Like, obviously,
It's not a question, even a question.
What do you want, a fucking pedo? And also, here's the other problem, is that if you don't send him to jail, you sacrifice the rest of his term to just being garbage. It would be better for Trump if he went to jail. It would be better for us, not for him.
Yeah.
It would be better for us if he went to jail, because then at least J.D. Vance could get rid of the fucking, the baggage of Trump.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. Because really, like, there's so much baggage with this guy. Like, I think he's really funny. There's a lot of things that he does that I agree with, I think are great, but not everything.
Same.
And it's like there's a lot of good and there's a lot of bad. I like the mass deportations. I like, X, Y, and Z thing. But the amount of, like, baggage and, like, just
The American infrastructure would crumble if everyone on the files are sent to jail, if we are being theoretical. Most likely, yeah. Because you have to remember, Bill Clinton. There are photos of Bill Clinton with victims.
necessary bullshit that we have to deal with because of Trump is, like, I mean, for a lot of people, it's too much. They don't want to deal with somebody who's constantly going on Twitter talking about how he's, like how some guy that got murdered with his wife, he's bringing up the fact that, like, oh, he didn't like me, and so he had TDS, and, like, get the fuck out of here. Like, what are you doing this for? Why are you doing this? So I think absolutely you should go to jail. Like, by the way, everybody thinks this. Like, the only people that don't think this are, like, 5 mentally ill people on Twitter because they think that any accusation against Trump is just categorically illegal. Or categorically a lie. That's it. It's the baggage of personality. J.D. Vance is a perfect successor. There's zero dirt on the guy. Well, besides the sofa thing. But yes, you're right. and I think that's the main thing. Bro, Vance is a pedophile too? Yeah, everybody I don't like is a pedophile. Well, that's good. Now, at least you're not using Nazi anymore. And so my point is that basically, yeah, I think so. If theoretically, like, if it was proven that anybody in government was one of these weirdos, like a rapist, like, yeah, they should instantly go to jail. Absolutely. Like, imagine having another take. Imagine thinking, no, it's a good idea for us to have a pedophile president. Even if you agree with Trump, you shouldn't want that. Because if that's the case, you know that from now on, supporting or agreeing with him in any regard will be seen as supporting a pedophile. So nobody will ever support him. Nobody will actually do anything. He'll only be the president in name, and nothing that he wants to do will get done. So even if you don't agree with, like, you hate Democrats, you should still want to get rid of this guy. Because in order, like, purifying your own, group of, I guess purifying your own group of people could sound racist, right? But I'm talking about ideology here. Is that keeping that ideology pure and not having it be polluted by bad actors or by, criminals or something like that is necessary.
Yes.
It's fundamentally necessary. And if you don't do that, you're going to have a lot of problems.
Number one, he's absolutely right. Number two, there are pedophiles everywhere. Everywhere. In any social group, any left, right, up, down, there are pedophiles everywhere. Of course, you shouldn't want those people in power. But just statistically, there will be some in power, of course. Because they're everywhere.
Absolutely. Look, people have talked about, and by the way, Todd Blanche is the face of this, but it's really the Attorney General's office, Pam Bondi, who is responsible. And there are several ways to get at this. Some take longer, some are shorter. The quickest way, and I think most expeditious way to get justice for these victims is to bring inherent contempt against Pam Bondi. And that doesn't require going through the courts. And give her... And basically, Ro Khanna and I are talking about and drafting that right now.
Oh.
Okay, well, I mean, on another network
Good.
this morning, Democratic Senator Tim Kaine said impeachment or contempt, it is premature, Congressman Khanna. And the deputy
It's premature? Shut up, retard. He's a bald, fat retard. I know who Tim Kaine is.
I agree.
Attorney
Asman
General
is right.
said bring it on. They don't seem to be taking this very seriously, and if you just don't have the math in the Senate, including, at least now, this Democratic senator not being
He's not
convinced,
bald.
doesn't that sort of show
Oh,
that
he
you're at the
was.
limit of pressure?
No, we only need the House for
Yeah.
inherent contempt, and we're building
He's
a
not bald or
bipartisan
fat. Am I thinking
coalition,
somebody-
and it would fine Pam Bondi for every day that she's not releasing these documents.
Wow.
I'll tell you why, I've talked to the survivors, why this is such a slap in the face. One of the survivors said they released her name accidentally, but...
Okay, he's not totally bald, and he's not that fat, but...
But
I mean, if I looked like that, I'd think I was fat. And if I had look at this, guys.
Oh, here it comes.
Look, see that right there?
He's very balding.
That's worse than me. So if he's not bald, neither am I.
Meanwhile,
They
me.
still have not released the FBI file about the people who abused her at her request. And the problem here is that there are rich and powerful people. We all know this. There are 1,200 victims. They're rich and powerful people who either
1,200.
engaged in this abuse, covered it up, or were on this island. And what the American people want to know is, who are these people? And instead of holding them accountable, Pam Bondi is breaking the law. And this is
She
the
is.
corrupt system, the Epstein class that people are sick of. So I believe we're going to get bipartisan support in holding her accountable, and a committee of Congress should determine whether these redactions are justified or not.
Sometime in January when you all come back, I assume that'll happen. I want to ask you, though, Congressman Khanna, there have been images released in the past 48 hours.
Yeah.
Some of them include former President Bill Clinton.
Oh,
There's at
who
least
could have
one
guessed? Who
image
could
of
have
Donald
predicted
Trump. I should say neither man has been accused of any wrongdoing related to Epstein, though they clearly knew.
That's actually not really true. Shouldn't like the FBI have power over the DOJ? No. The FBI is just a... DOJ is a... or I don't remember, but it's something law. I'm too retarded to explain it. But the DOJ is above the FBI, when I remember correctly. What did I want to say? Yeah, there are plenty of photos of Bill Clinton with victims of Epstein. If this is investigation matters, FBI would be like spearheading in. I mean, the FBI didn't do anything for 10 years. I wouldn't trust the FBI at all. Like, I have heard stories about the FBI just shooting people that live out in the wild as training. It's horrible.
Knew him. But since Friday's publication, we're showing the image here now. One of the pictures was pulled down.
You wouldn't trust the American government, really? You shouldn't trust any government ever. Always expect the government to lie. Always expect politicians to lie. That's where you are the safest. They have too many blacked out records? Yes. Just like the last, the former German chancellor that was somehow connected to some money disappearing, and he didn't know of anything. He doesn't remember anything, and then he smiles. Yeah. By the way, that was called the Cum-Ex affairs or something like that. Really retarded. When you know English, yeah, you don't want to name a file like that.
There were 15 images total that were then redacted from the DOJ website. And it's kind of hard to see, but it's an open drawer with a photo of President Trump. Why
What the
do you
fuck?
think
Yeah,
that
what
was
the
pulled
fuck?
down? Because the Deputy Attorney General says This was victims saying that their privacy or somehow their integrity was being compromised by having that image published.
Well, I'm less concerned about that photo. I don't know the facts. My concern is the major documents that we know are out there that haven't been released.
He's right that the photo is kind of a red herring. It's not indicative or anything of anybody. It's just a photo of a drawer of Trump with some women, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he's right. It's not.
There are plenty of photos of Trump with some woman. Plenty. Where he's in public. It doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter.
Anything crazy. But, like, in my opinion, it's not the photo that's crazy. It's the fact that you got rid of it.
Yeah.
That's the thing to me. It's like all of this stuff, it's like being like, you know, something that like somebody looks guilty. Okay, that's fine. But why are you acting guilty? That's more interesting to me. Why are Americans so low IQ with this? The rich and powerful people do not matter. This is the way bigger than those people and the implications are insane. Well, it's because people are tired of it. And that's what I was saying before, is that people are tired of this worldwide. They're tired of a global boomer hegemony that puts the needs of young people last, that tries to consolidate power and hold on to it as long as humanly possible, and then figures out every way to scam young people, make their lives worse, and just in general fuck over everybody for no reason.
Yes, and now the European Union wants to create a Ministry of Truth. Literally the government telling the people what's true and what's not. I mean, it's not, for me as a German, we had that in the past. We called it Reichspropagandaministerium. And yes, that was during the time of the Nazis. Of course. And yes, it means exactly what you think it means.
That's what it is. Identity politics, yes. And so this is a worldwide. It's not like in America, it's everywhere.
The 60-count indictment that shows massive financial fraud and foreign interference, the prosecution memo. And look, they put out these Bill Clinton pictures. Well, they're allegations that they're foreign governments that potentially were involved.
Which ones?
And that all needs to come out. And it needs to come out in the indictments. It needs to come out in the prosecution memos. But the reality is they put out these pictures for Bill Clinton. Fine, put it all out. But don't distract from the fundamental issue, which is who are these powerful people who visited Rape Island? I mean, there are 1,200 victims. It defies common sense that it was just Epstein and Maxwell. And
exactly. It's completely irrational to think that it was just those two people. Like, the people, if you believe that, you're retarded.
Yeah.
They're hiding something. And you know why the American people are so upset? My X account had MAGA supporters supporting me for the first.
It's not the thing is that it's not MAGA. It's not Republican or Democrat. Like this is a big issue. Period. It's things like making sure that the country like has a military, figuring out how to make the roads work. Like this is a problem that media has created where every single fucking issue has to be divided by party lines. And people invent these alternate realities that every single problem has like a 50% ratio of people that like and don't like it. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yes, it's completely retarded. And it only exists to destroy the society.
There are a lot of issues that I think most people agree on, and just because the other side that you disagree with thinks it's good, that doesn't make it bad. It's just it's caveman thinking.
Yeah, caveman was smarter.
On this, unfortunately, nothing else. That doesn't matter. Like it doesn't. You should get used to doing that. That's what normal people do. Work together in times that you can find common ground. And you know you can argue in times that you don't. Like that's normal. You don't have to. Not everything has to be all or nothing.
Time saying, you know, Pam Bondi whiffed, according to Susan Wiles. She is breaking the law. She needs to be held accountable.
You're referring to the Vanity Fair quote that the chief of staff gave, saying the whiffed, and she said that Pam Bondi gave them binders full of nothingness, and then when it came to the client list, she said it was on her desk. There is no client list, quote, and it sure as hell wasn't on her desk. Do you see that as an acknowledgement here, though, that the politics have overtaken the substance?
Of course.
Something's wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody can tell
Massively wrong.
something's wrong.
If you say you have a thing and then later you say you don't have the thing, something's going on.
Different people have different guesses on what's wrong and why it's wrong.
Yep.
But everybody knows something is wrong.
Correct.
No, for us, it's about the survivors. And if you look at Thomas Massey in my comments the morning of the release, we were giving Blanche the benefit of the doubt. We said, if it's not all there, fine, just get the information out.
Yeah.
It's when the survivors said that this is an insult, this is a slap in their face, that we aren't getting the truth about who these men were on Rape Island, that we started sounding the alarm. And this is more documents of nothingness. And I guess the question the American people have, even to me, is the system so corrupt?
Yes.
Is the system so corrupt that Thomas Massey and you defy the odds, pass a bill through a discharge petition, get the Senate, get the president to sign it, and still these rich and powerful people are being protected? Who has this kind of hold on our government? What are they hiding? Why are they not releasing this?
Exactly. It's just all common sense questions.
Well, you want what? People involved in those initial investigations down in Florida re-examined and possibly prosecuted?
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Duh. Like, well, what do you mean? Like, yeah, of course. Like, did they do something wrong? Like, yeah.
If so, then yes, yeah. Absolutely.
I want the information out, which was in that prosecution memo that Acosta disregarded, that were in those indictments, that there were 60 counts against Epstein. Only 2 counts were prosecuted.
That's what he was talking about yesterday when he went on Hassan's stream. Listen to that again.
I want the information out, which was in that prosecution memo that Acosta disregarded, that were in those indictments, that there were 60 counts against Epstein. Only 2 counts were prosecuted. I want to know who were these other people who were on the Epstein's Rape Island, who were the people who saw young girls being paraded around at parties, 13, 14, 15-year-olds, and didn't say anything. And why is this so hard when there's a law requiring these names to come out? What we're seeing is survivors' names come out, but not the men who abused them. And instead of...
Because they are so powerful or rich, or both, that it would actually be a problem for someone.
Instead of holding elites accountable...
Yeah, this is the thing that people said with the Maxwell trial, with Ghislaine Maxwell, that basically, how is it that this woman is being charged for human trafficking, but we don't figure out who she's trafficking to?
Yeah.
Pam Bondi is breaking the law.
Well, we will see when you gentlemen come back to work sometime in January what your next measures are. It sounds like you've made it clear you're moving action against the Attorney General. Thank you both for your reaction today.
I think it has to be faster. You have to do this as soon as you possibly can.
Yes.
Like, you can't let this sit around, because then they're going to try to stall it out. Then you're going to have the attention be taken over by midterm elections, and it's going to get displaced. I mean, really, Republicans should want to put this issue to bed before the, before the midterms happen. Like, it's the best possible thing that Republicans could do for themselves is to completely kill this issue before the midterms. Totally get rid of it. Rokana post? Yeah, I'll see what he...
The word is one whole big ball of oligarchy. Yes, it's the globalists.
He's saying in a minute. But, yeah, this is nuts. And let me see if I can find a few more of these here too. But no, it's not that. There's something else. This is something else too. I've seen it before, opening up impeachment. This is what I saw already. And yeah, here it is.
It's completely redacted. For the most part, the first 50 pages. This one's not readable. It's completely redacted.
Yeah, why is it completely black? That makes no sense. Makes no sense. If you redact names, Sure, but why are these all names? No, they aren't. What's going on here? They're hiding shit. That's what's going on.
For the most.
What might happen if President Trump pardons Pam Bondi? I think that for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. I think that if he did that, he would be effectively destroying all of his political capital, and nobody would really support him after that. I don't think that they would. And I think that it would be hard for, you know, anybody really to, like, he don't care. I don't think that, maybe you could say he doesn't care, but after that happens, like, eventually there will be somebody who takes office after Trump, right? And when that happens, that person will go after them as hard as possible. Like, this is what they should have done. They should have done this with Hunter Biden and Biden's, right? Like,
Yeah.
they should have done this immediately. They should have done this with Hillary Clinton back in the day. Like, but they don't. The problem is that if you don't use...
Remember, Hillary Clinton had servers in her bathroom with government documents on it and shit like that. Top secret stuff. And yes, that was illegal.
Your tools that you're given to execute in a way that, you know, is definitive against your enemies, they will do that to you. And so you have to be first person to do that. Biden did it too. Yeah, well, Biden did a little bit, but they didn't do enough. Isn't JD a bit too quiet? No, I mean, if I was JD Vance, I'd be doing the exact same thing. I wouldn't be saying a fucking thing about this. You promised to prosecute rich and powerful men who are on Epstein's rape island would be more credible if you stopped breaking the law. Release the draft 60-count indictment, 82-page prosecution menu, and the Epstein FBI files. Yep, there we go. And the Department of Justice previously stated we will bring charges against anyone involved in the trafficking and exploitation of Jeffrey Epstein's victims. We reaffirm this commitment, and we ask any victim to please come forward with any information pertaining to any individuals who engage with illicit activity at their expense. We have met with many victims and victim groups, and we will continue to do so more if people reach out. Please contact myself. Yeah, we'll investigate it immediately. Yeah, no one believes you.
This is pretty much it. Yeah, no one believes them. Yeah, they're unbelievable after this shit. They're unbelievable.
You've seen most of the files. Who, if anyone, did Epstein traffic these young women to besides himself?
Himself. There is no credible information. None. If there were, I would bring the case yesterday that he trafficked to other individuals. And the information we have, again, is limited.
So the answer is no one?
For the information that we have.
In the files?
In the case file.
Okay.
Then why are they all redacted? Why are they all black? You can say, oh yeah, everyone in here that is named, they didn't do anything. We have no evidence that they did anything. There were communication with them, but they weren't on the island, and nothing happened there. There, see? That's way better than, oh yeah, nothing happened.
Man, I wonder what's going to happen when they actually get the information out. Yeah, it's complete bullshit. Nobody's going to believe that.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Yeah, complete bitch ass bullshit.
The department.
Bitch ass bullshit. Okay, how does the back feel? Not good. The neck, no, either. Neither. Oh. Ooh, Jesus. Okay. Below 4 hours. I would say, when it comes to reacts, that's it for today. I'm gonna do grocery shopping and I make me something to eat and shit like that. I do some exercise, and maybe I come back later playing some, of course, Arc Raiders. But for now, I think we are good. And yes, a quite short stream for, you know, a stream. But yeah, I think I think I have to take care of shit. Which I would prefer to stay 4 more hours and do something, but I need to do shit. I really need to. Man, being chronically ill is really bad. It's really, really bad. It limits you so much in the things you can do. But yeah, if everything goes right, I will come back later. Just play some games, digging around. Playing Arc Raiders, digging around. Tomorrow I will edit videos, then I will stream on Friday again, and on Saturday. I'm not sure. I'm still thinking about lowering my streaming days to 3 days per week. Simply because I don't really have a lot of viewers, and I'd rather stream longer on my streaming days. Well, today is obviously not, but also actually having 1 day off where I don't edit videos would be nice. But yeah, okay, that's it for today. If you like today's stream, follow, and if you are on YouTube, you can even subscribe and like. Wow, what a thing. Bye bye, Kali. See you maybe later, maybe Friday, Saturday, next time, whenever you want. Bye bye. And now first goes YouTube. Bye bye, YouTube.